¿Qué
No
cosa?
se mueve, pero ve la luz. Está fuerte y baja.
Está flotando. ¿Qué es esa mujer?
What the absolute heck is that? Starting to regret that I stopped at this rest. And they say Bigfoot isn't real? I don't even want to stick my arm up.
Hey!
What's up?
Whoa, my
What are
camera's
you guys
on.
doing here? What are you guys doing here? What the heck's going on? And
I don't know. It's a
Where'd my
surprise.
camera
for
go?
where are we at with all this stuff?
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
My camera is gone.
Your camera's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, slow motion. Just still there. It's charming. Still, you got there. It's fantastic. Women will love that.
Hold on. I'm going to leave and try to come back and see what happens.
Yes, sir.
Restart.
Okay.
Be right here.
So how's it going? I see you got an interview from the one and only
Linda.
Eastburn. How'd that go?
Oh, I thought it went good. It was interesting. I thought she was a very interesting person. She definitely is. And there's a lot of things she talks about that I feel is right on in alignment with what I think. What's going on?
Camera's not working, bro.
Yeah, I know it. I'm trying to figure it out without having to leave.
Well, thank you, GMB, if that's you're talking to me, or unless you're talking about Mike. Let's see, cameraman. Whoa, fly like an eagle.
Hey, Mike, I sent you a message there. I don't know if you got it. And
I did. I see that you sent me the interview. I haven't had a chance to look at it, obviously.
Well, I sent you another message too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I was asking you a question. It's in the private chat.
Oh. I never. It's okay. I don't know. Is it okay if I smoke during the stream? Well, I'm the king of censorship, so you're not allowed to do anything unless I say.
Hey, that's why I had to ask.
You know what I mean? So, you must do what thou sayest, or thy sayest. You do whatever you want, bro. I don't care.
Boom. There we go.
As long as you're not running around, as long as you're not running around butt naked, I don't care.
All right, I'll try not to. Now
I appreciate that.
Well, that was odd.
There's nothing more disturbing than looking at another man.
All that.
How's everyone doing tonight?
You don't want to. I don't want to be reminded of the opening ceremony to the Olympics. Now, wasn't that a little bizarre? Don't you think?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
All right. I'm all good then.
So today we are going to talk about manifesting what is lurking in the woods, in the realm of the woods. And, well, it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be maybe not so impressive because apparently the cameraman, he doesn't feel too well, and I never feel that well. And so
Yeah.
maybe we'll be leaning on Mike the whole time. Who knows? MT.
Start talking while me and O or D just get some rest.
So, there's a little image here, collage of images, some of the things I filmed last year. I believe to be entities or spirits that manifest in the trees. This filmed last spring, and how I want to break it down, but everyone else can do whatever you want. I don't think this is going to be the usual what people expect. This is not going to be what maybe channelers would say to do, or spiritualists say to do, or the experts say to do. One person I would have to say is you do whatever you want. I think that's very important that you follow what your spirit leads you to do, not what I tell you to do. I'm just going to share with you how it works for me. I cannot tell you if it's going to work for you because I am not you. So anyways, we're going to talk about things like inquiring, so some kind of steps to help it having experience with these interdimensional, extra-dimensional beings, entities, whatever they are, spirits. I broke down a few things real fast. One of the most important steps to begin with is inquire / investigate. The next thing is to question and to challenge that which other people say and what you believe. The third one is look outside the box, and that is all the programming and indoctrination that we've all experienced in our lives. Fourth is, this is what I do. I can't tell you to do it, but for me, it's to talk to the creator / the Lord of all spirits. 6 is to expectations. And that is to realign one's expectations to what is delivered to you, and instead of I'm losing track here. Instead of what other people say you must do, or what the program is. There's a lot of people out there that are truly charlatans. There's people out there that are simply there to sell books, and they're programmed to make $1, which I think is part of the problem. Why things people don't manifest, and to do it the way that actually works for you, not what other people say you're supposed to do. How do you feel about that, gentlemen? Does this sound all right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. When I first started, I was real big on trying to not venture out to see what anybody else was doing. I thought that would kind of help me stay towards what I wanted to do and not really be influenced. But I kind of started to feel that it's still good to kind of maybe look at what others are doing, not necessarily to influence you, but just to see what other experiences, are going on.
Yeah, the thing is, it's at the end of the day, it's the nature and tendency is to criticize the investigator, the person that's sharing the information, instead of criticizing the
I
information.
got a secret to tell.
When I say, what's that?
I don't watch no one except our guys. And if somebody sends me a link, I'll watch. But I don't watch nobody else.
It's fair enough.
Mike, while you've got this up on the screen real quick before I forget, when you've got your photos here,
Yeah.
that one you have that's right up towards the upper left under the manifesting in the photo, you see like in the center of that, it looks like almost like a plus as part of the photo. It's
Right there. Like
you
a
see that?
cross.
I showed
Sorry.
Jack, and it's in one of my videos. One of the things I like to do is take full spectrum photos, and sometimes you catch strange anomalies in them. And I captured an anomaly that looks exactly like that.
I don't know where it's at, but I filmed one literally across in the sky.
Yeah.
It was above the trees. It was there was a stream there, and I was on one side, and it was on the other side of the stream. If I'm visualizing now, it would be on the northwest of my peripheral vision. I was filming a grove of trees, and literally there's a goldish looking cross that should not be there, floating in the sky. So
I'll have to show you the photo so you can see
And
it. It's very simple.
I know people that have filmed such things that look like shields, rather well-known people that probably prefer to be anonymous. Because when they shared it with me, it was just personal stuff, you know what I mean? So there's people that share stuff with me at times, although I haven't been very active about doing this stuff the past 6 months. They share stuff with me that they filmed, but they don't want anyone else to see it. And I respect that. So I have tendency, if I do a show with somebody, I'll share their images during that show, but I don't do it outside of it. Although this intro that I did a collage of some stuff that's been out there recently of UFOs, allegedly UFOs, put in quotes, but apparently is an angel traveling across power line. And if you guys noticed at the very beginning, which I wouldn't mind talking about again and addressing that because I find it fascinating. Either it's fantastic CGI or it's the real deal. And as I told, I think maybe even MT as well last year, and I told you, Jack, last time we talked, after the show, I said, I want to focus more on the angelic, if you will, as people call it, things that are angels. You know what I mean? I'm not necessarily. I know that quote unquote Sasquatch is real. I just know that it's, from my own personal experience, is nothing like other people say it is.
Right.
And
Let me touch up real quick on what I was saying. I got cut off there real quick. I don't watch other people's, and I just watch our guys, meaning MT's, mine. I don't watch other people's unless someone sends me a link. And the reason why is that because I'm concentrate on what we're getting. I don't want to be out there thinking about what someone else is getting. And that kind of goes out with manifesting here. But it's nothing bad about them. It's just concentrating what we're doing in our circle, what we got going on.
absolutely.
And if I get up there and then I'm focusing on what that show's getting, trying to think in my head, well, they're getting this. Is this something? I don't want to do that. I don't want to twist everything up with the evidence that we're getting. But like I said, nothing wrong with that. But there's just the group that I watch.
That makes sense. For me, it's I try to stay focused on and be present in the moment of where I'm at, my reality.
Right.
That makes sense. Now, there was the beginning of all this. I was just like everyone else. I probably watched 1,000 videos about Bigfoot and Dogman, and and the realization came down, realization was I was never going to find out the truth of any of this stuff unless I did it myself. Not to be an insult to anyone else, but it's just a reality of this realm that we live in. There's all sorts of people with all sorts of motives, all sorts of questionable things. There are lots of hoaxers and a lot of people that just want to make a buck or a name for themselves. And, if that's what they want to do, I mean, that's up to them. But I wanted to know the truth.
That's sad.
Just like everyone else's, our reality is that which is around us. Not what we're viewing necessarily, we're having this virtual reality right now, the three of us and the people in the audience, but it's not the reality that it's how do I say this? I'm being redundant here. What I'm saying is that when I look over here to my son's room, or I look over here down here to where the kitchen is, or wherever I'm at now, I'm just like, that's the reality that I'm in. That's the truth of the matter. So, and that's just like everyone else. So it's coming to that point of saying, I've got to find out for myself. And then when you do find out, then coming to the terms of acceptance and that, you just might, it's not going to be a beautiful thing. What's going to happen is this, from my experience at least, you're going to share your experiences based on your limited understanding, mine at least, at the time, how I viewed the world at the time based on what other people told me, and it contradicts each other. And the people that I would share it with, they became very hostile, which I think is part of that 4 steps of coming to terms of the reality of something, the truth of something, right?
Right.
One of the steps is that we become very hostile about it because it's an offense to our reality and what people told us. It's the truth. And we invested our time and our energy and our thoughts and our beliefs in what someone else said is the truth instead of finding out for ourselves. Right. And if you guys have a similar experience where you're discovering, from what I'm witnessing, you can speak for yourselves, but that what you're discovering is not, it doesn't correlate or go along with what the experts have been telling you, right? That's what's happening with me too. And it's not that we're better than anybody else or that we're superior, because far from it. We're just coming to terms of realization that a lot of people are talking about stuff that they don't really know what they're talking about. Right? They're just, there's information that we gather, that we parrot and spit out, and then there's knowledge. And knowledge can only be acquired through personal experience and having, how do I say this? Knowledge is something that it's something you can apply. It's something there's one thing to read about cars and there's another thing to learn how to fix a car, build, from, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's a completely different thing. So you can know about that there's a car, or you have knowledge or information in your head about a car, but you actually have true knowledge about whether there's a Mustang.
Right. Well, the good thing about this is now a few people are reaching out asking if I'm having, they've seen some experiences online, and then they're reaching out going, did this happen? Can you look at this clip and see if it's the same thing that happened here? So, and these are people on the flesh and blood side, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? So I think more and more people are opening up to what's going on.
I think it's inevitable. I mean, I think so I know what happens. You write a book, you make some videos, you make a name for yourself. You're now on the circuit, you're going to different conferences and all that kind of stuff. And you pigeonhole yourself in where you're at now instead of allowing it to blossom, to become more the truth of things. And so, what do you do when you wrote a book, a 300-page book, and you discover that a lot of what you wrote in that book is not true.
Right.
Right? You have to either adapt, what most people don't
Right.
want to do, because of the consequences of it is. You know what I mean? Because you're going to look like a hypocrite to a lot of people. And if you, this is part of this whole thing about acceptance. If you can't, and we're jumping all the way to step 6, but if you can't come to terms with the fact that people are going to reject your information, they're going to reject your experience, they're going to challenge it, question it, call you a liar, everything under the sun, right?
Yep.
But you have to come to terms with this and say, how much do I want to know the truth? How much am I willing to pay the price for that truth? Because there is a price. And unfortunately, most of that price is with other people and with our own selves, the cognitive dissonance and dealing with that, right? I mean, what do you do when you find out some bits of truth and it contradicts everything that your worldview or perspective was? What do you do? I mean, that's a good question to ask you two gentlemen to get us going. How do you guys deal with that? These new discoveries that challenge you as a person and your belief system, and because our belief system is part of our identity, although it's an illusion. You discover the beliefs is just a belief; it's not who you truly are. But how do you guys deal with that? Does it make sense?
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike. I'll let you go first.
Well, I think not to put yourself in the box, in any box, is going to be important for that. If you're out researching or having experiences, like I consider myself more of an experiencer than a researcher, you can't really be in a box. You can't limit yourself to thinking something is going to happen a certain way or something's going to happen. But we talk about manifesting things. I think also that your thoughts and things that you focus on could very well be the reality of what happens at any given time. So it's like I kind of do. I kind of stay away from really what's going on, because I think other people can be manifesting their own kind of experiences. I think everybody's different, and you talk about your total frequency, and I think that's something that spirits and entities see. They can see you, and you probably would look something like a beacon, and that beacon is every part of you, all the frequencies, your heart, your brain, everything kind of makes a unique signature of who you are. And I think that is different for everybody, and I think that manifests different kinds of experiences, with what's out there. And to avoid being trapped or feel like maybe you're wrong on something, because it's really just about your experiences and what goes on. So there's really no wrong. It's just things could change, and that's not putting yourself in a box to say this is going to happen, and then when it doesn't happen, then you start going, oh, maybe I'm wrong for thinking that. But then your thought process of what is right and wrong is just your experiences, and to know that could change is part of of doing this, and to just basically keep experiencing things and see what happens, see what's different, see what's the same.
Right.
Acceptance too, right? I mean, it's to come to terms with the fact that if you're not willing to adapt and say, well, what I thought was the truth, it turns out not to be the truth. Can I be okay with that? You know what I mean? Am I going to be kicked out of the club? Which yes, you are going to be kicked out of the club if you want to know the truth.
Right.
It's just the way it is. It's always been, as the old phrase goes, truth is a lonely warrior. Even though you might have experiences together in the crew and all that, but still the truth is the lonely warrior. And what I mean by that is that the more you come closer to reality, the more it offends not only yourself, but it's definitely the people that are around you who are not going down this journey.
Yeah, and I think knowing that there is no right or wrong to it, because there isn't. And I think manifesting is a bigger part than we all think for experiences. If we're going out I want to have an experience, you're going to have an experience, but it might not be an experience that you're expecting to have. But what I try to do, knowing that there is no right or wrong answer, knowing that the topic that we're talking about today, manifesting, is a real thing. Understanding that. Stop looking for, right now, currently, I'm stopped looking for the proof and looking for the whys. So I can understand this more. Just like yesterday, putting the glow sticks up, showing them on screen, walking away, come back, all but one are gone.
And then you have your channel taken down.
Yeah, then I get
The powers that be.
a whole show gone.
Yeah.
Man, I think I know why. They said they sent me an email. Mike said that they can't bring it back. That's just gone.
So why did they take it down?
They said that it aired, but I don't see how it aired when it was up for 2 days. They said going up to HD, because it goes through a process. It goes uploaded, then it goes to SD, then it goes to HD. And they said during the HD it aired. And I was like, how? The show was up. The content was already up.
Right. We all watched it live, right? I mean, those of us who were there, I mean, we watched
Something's different. I think we were talking about that, Jack. There's something different about the uploading for lives. And I've noticed that too, because it took like almost a full day for that HD part of the live stream to process. But it's there. You can watch it now, but it's like standard definition. And the HD is like a separate video, it looks like, and it's still processing. And it's never done that before. So something's different about the process.
Are you guys uploading it through YouTube or through StreamYard?
No, YouTube. When we go live, that was a whole live.
Okay.
That was a whole live session onto YouTube.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't understand. For 2 days it was up. And there was one really, really convincing piece of evidence right off the bat. Like 6 minutes in.
You're freezing up.
There was a fog that came around.
You're freezing up. Dude, you're freezing up again, just to let you know.
Oh,
your camera's freezing.
All right, but at about 6 to 8 minutes in, I was standing out there on the live, and I had a glow stick, and this fog comes up. I didn't see it while I was out there, but watching the video, you could see it, and it looks like it reaches for the glow stick.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So when you say shadow, was it a shadowy being or a shadowy arm?
No, it was mist. It was like mist.
Okay.
That's all I could think of. It was like a smoky mist.
Well, my luck, I was watching it too. I was watching it live, and I heard all of it going on because I happened to just walk away for a couple minutes, and I heard that going on, but I didn't get to see it. And now the video is gone too, so I didn't even get to see it.
Yeah, no other mist through the whole night. That was the only spot. And it looks like it stops in front of me, and it looks like an arm comes out and like tries to grab the glow stick.
Was it a large arm? Was it jet black? Was it just,
No, it was like
was
I
it
said,
misty,
it was
like a
smoky
grayish, whitish, smoky type thing? But
yeah, it was like a smoky mist.
So like
And that's what I'm thinking.
there's ectoplasm, and then there's ectomist. So, which I was filming.
It was something that the camera caught because I did not see it. So it's something that the camera caught that I couldn't see.
Happens all the time.
Mm-hmm. Sure does.
So we have ectoplasma, and then we also have ectomist. I don't know if you guys heard of that, which I'm filming.
Which there was no denying that. And I think, my heart of hearts tell me that was the problem. I think someone was all like, there's no way that he could show this. And I'm not like, I'm just saying in my hearts and hearts, I'm going, wow, if this is a piece, this video is going to be taken down. And sure enough, it was.
Well,
Because there was no denying it.
If you believe in quote unquote the spirit realm, And if you can accept the fact that, say, like AI, the internet, everything that there is a connection with quote unquote the ethereal realm, the spirit realm, then it's not only would it be influence people on the other side somewhere where they're manipulating the algorithms and maybe watching for certain phrases or things, the human part of it, but then the part itself, high probability is being influenced by something outside of themselves, just like the rest of us, right? You and I, all three of us, and people are doing what we do, I believe are being influenced not just by our own thoughts and our own desires, but also there's other things around us that are influencing it. Us to do these things, to have us go to certain places, certain nights, certain locations, etc., etc. Something is influencing us. It's not just. I guess what I'm trying to say is that as much as we like to feel like we're independent, autonomous beings, the truth is we're influenced by things outside of ourselves, not just human beings.
You talk about collective consciousness.
Sorry about that. Keep on going.
Collective consciousness. I've listened to a lot of people talk about it, like scientists and others like Billy Carson, and and it seems like there's something to that in our potential, and maybe there is a collective consciousness, because they say that part of our thoughts, the synapses of our thoughts and brain, actually travel outside of our dimension, and that's something that I think has been proven to a certain point, but they don't understand it or know what goes on. So the theory about like a collective consciousness being like a two-way path, and some of the thoughts we get, some of the ideas that we get, the epiphanies, even like deja vu, actually comes from like a collective consciousness, and that could be influenced by you individually. Maybe some of your natural parts of who you are. Like I talked about how like you're a beacon, like everything about you, even that could affect maybe this flow of consciousness. And those who have maybe an evil side to them, or something that's bad, something negative, somebody, someone who's consumed with greed, or someone who's consumed with hate, that could affect this their potential for this flow of consciousness of things to come to them, things they think of, ideas they get. This could be, maybe that path is what makes certain outcomes for those kind of people, and why, maybe they continue to, do negative things and try to affect others based on their own greed or anger.
I got a question for you too. Like last night, I had a dream to go to Salt Fork, and in that dream, it took me to Salt Fork, and I'm by a cave. Now, I don't know if there's caves there or whatever, and it shows me panning the camera, and I wake up, and I'm like, man, we really got to get to Salt Fork. And I was just, me and MT last night were just talking about it, going, man, we really got to get back to Salt Fork. And now I really think there's a reason for that dream. Have you ever had something like that, MT, and then happened to you in a dream? Or
well, I don't know if I've had something. I'm trying to remember. I know I've had bits and pieces of things like that, and at the time I might not remember it, but then there's places I go and areas I'm at, and then sometimes I'll have like these, like I call it deja vu, like I did at Ashtabula at the bridge site. Something about where I was at, just something about the visual of that place. There was something that came back to me, and it's almost like I had seen something there before. And it's possible I may, maybe there's something to tapping into like that consciousness of maybe those who have even passed on, like a memory or something like that maybe is there. Maybe it's something to that effect. Maybe that might be something along the same lines, but I don't know if I've had something so direct that I remember a location, and was like, well, that's where I want to go because I've seen this exact location before. But
Yeah.
I might not remember it, but it's possible. You know how dreams are. Sometimes, it doesn't last long. There aren't too many you have that you can keep.
ORD, have you ever had that happen?
Where I had a dream and something manifested through it.
No, we're like a location or anything, and then, like I said, Salt Fork. I had a dream, and it was weird because it just started. Put me in, and put me in Salt Fork, and I'm standing by a cave, and I'm holding the camera, just twisting like this, and then I wake up.
Well, I don't know what you mean by twisting like this because your video's been frozen for 10 more.
Yeah, there's a storm
Good at
going
holding
on.
that expression there.
I've had something similar to that. Dreams come in different forms. There's the lucid dreams, cognitive kind of state, or awake state, where a thought or impressions to say go to this go to this place that I wasn't even thinking about going. Go to this site GR or go to Oak Openings or go there. And it would be something that I wasn't even planning on doing that day at all. Right? You just said that. The thought came to me, the visualizing the place kind of came to me, but it wasn't perfect in any way, shape, or form. It was completely different once I got there most of the time. But dreams, what people talk about, I have weird dreams, and I'm not a dreamer that like manifests stuff. You know what I mean? I have my brain is really weird. So when I close, some people, I don't know if you guys can have this. When you close your eyes, can you visualize doing things, going places, seeing people that you know? Because when I close my eyes, and this is going to sound really strange, I see spirits. I see broken lights, and I see patterns, and I see faces and entities. That's what I see.
I've had some similar to that, and the ones that are very vivid and almost seem more real than others, which I've had a decent amount, they have some similarities in every one of them. And the similarities is the environment. It's always a very dark environment, and usually it involves a little bit of light, like a white light. Like it's very, for me, it's always similar in that same eerie environment that I can remember very clear, and I see that almost every time. And I've had it anywhere where I've seen loved ones that have passed away, and I've seen them, but they're usually in a very not like a very like alive form. They're in some kind of a very distorted form, almost like decomposed form. It's very disturbing, but in a way, it's very like emotional and like happy feeling because I've seen loved ones that passed away, and it's like you connect, but the visualization of it is very like dark and grim, but the feelings are like happy because I know who it is. I've had those. I had like quite a bit of those, and those ones last. So I think there's something to that. It's almost like maybe that is a connection to some form of the other realm, or where the loved ones are at, or maybe that's how I see it, or maybe it's just something my brain's making up. But it feels like there's more to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that because us humans have gifts. I was reading when I was trying to do more in-depth study about manifesting. The gods used to think gave us a gift, and like kings and stuff, like I was telling you, they would have wizards around. Now they believed, like winning wars back in the day, like kings used to have these wizards and stuff like that. That would manifest winning wars, things like that. And I think that goes along the route of us being able to see into these different realms, you know, like, but we call it dreams. But I think that's a doorway for you. So I wouldn't second guess yourself. That's for sure.
So for me, it's always like a big blur between what a visualization is, what a dream is, and that kind of thing. You know what I mean? I know we're talking about this topic is particularly. It's like I've had this, and I think I've had this all my life. When I close my eyes before I go to sleep, I see these things that I've been sharing with you folks.
Yeah.
And here's a good example. Let me show you this of how weird this all stuff is. So this is one of these things I filmed in the woods. And if you see, it's got two eyes. There's an eye here, a nose. It's got some kind of like mask-like thing and a weird kind of like, I don't know, a hat or something. It's really weird. These are the kind of things that I see. I'll see something that looks like Bigfoot, or maybe something that looks like a dog man, but a lot of like different types of beings and spirits. For some reason, it's like I'm, for whatever reason, I am connected to this stuff. I have spent most of my life trying not to avoid thinking about it, and be honest with you. Just what I say, it's like each person's experience is different. It's like,
right.
When it comes
now,
to
with that
stuff.
said, when you see these things, is it when you see them, are you like going out and you're like looking for them? Do you look in a spot and be like, there it is?
At times. Other times, I'll just be led to a spot. I'm not seeing anything visually, physically, but I film stuff and there will be something there on the edge of the woods or in the woods or in the sky type of thing. And then it's so weird because at times that I have seen things or had encounters, as usual, I either can't film them or didn't bring the camera.
No.
So my best encounters have been when there's not been a camera at all.
Right. Do you think you manifested them?
I think we all do that through our thought process. I think that there's times where we fall into the experience that wake us up, I believe. But for the most part, if you are thinking about this stuff consistently, and then you put yourself in positions to have the experience or to see things, it's going to happen. I think part of the problem, though, that many of us are experiencing is that, and I know the desire, like you guys have and everyone else, to share your journey with other people and to film it and to go live, but all my experiences that were solid or anything, although there's been times when somebody's been there with me, it wasn't planned that way. It turned out that way, if that makes sense. We ended up running across each other's path while I was out there in the world. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what I'm saying is that for the most part, I do believe, from my own experience, that these are gadgets. Our phones and our cameras influence the type of experience that we're going to have. Now, with my camera and that kind of stuff, and being in a place, I sense the presence of something being there, didn't see it, but filmed it, right?
Right.
But for the most part, and I would say faster than 90% of everything that I experience, that is quality, that's life-changing for me. There was no camera.
Yeah.
None of that stuff. Now, why does that happen? I have no true solid explanation, only a speculation, an assumption. And I assume it is that, we're dealing with frequencies, we're dealing with energy, we're dealing with plasma, we're dealing with electricity, beings of electricity, our gadgets themselves. I think they influence it. I think they know they're there. I think they know what we're doing. And there's the part of the trickster spirit involved here, in which they're only going to give so much to whatever that person they desire to give for whatever reasons. I mean, that's how it's been for me. I can't say it's for everyone, but for me, it's been like they've been really selective in how the experience happens. If that makes sense. Yeah, they're the ones dictating the terms.
Right.
I'm just following the impulses, that thing that pushes me to be in that place and that experience to have it. And I've discovered over a while, you don't have to go very far to have these experiences.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I think it all depends on where you go, the scenario you put yourself in.
Yeah.
I can say yesterday I put those glow sticks up wanting them to disappear. Where are they going? You know, did I manifest that disappearing glow sticks? Where in the hell did they go? I put them up, you know, walked away, turned the camera around, said, there they are. You know, put another one up, walked away, turned around. You can see two of them.
What do you think? What do you think, honestly? Did you manifest it or not? Was it your desire to have it happen? Yes.
I don't know.
Right?
I wanted it to happen, but where'd they go?
They took it. They took it. That's what they did. Either they took it into another dimension, or they just took it to another part of this plane.
It's.
I mean, it could exact for all it could be in Ecuador, in freaking the Congo, or it could be whatever. They do have this capacity to transport things from one place to another.
Yeah.
Which makes one wonder when we think about Star Trek and all this kind of stuff, and that who was influencing these people to conjure up these ideas. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show about the connection. I think the total, like you talk about all the frequencies of your body. I think your brain, your heart, all those things have an effect, and that's the connection that is met with the unseen forces, and that in turn I think results in interactions, and that's different for all of us. And I think maybe that's what's happening with some of the experiences you're having, especially with the items that end up just walking away, end up missing, like the glow sticks.
Hey, gentlemen, I'm going to still be around listening, but my son's going to be leaving, so I'm going to spend a minute or two. Okay. You carry on with the conversation, okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and it goes a lot with when using equipment is something that with our technology aids us a lot. With the reflection is a big thing. I think there's a lot of things which can't be seen, but devices like cameras and things that reflect the light that's there show a different environment, can show things that we can't see.
Right.
And that goes to show that there is something that's there that is in a different form of light, different spectrums even, that you can't see with your eyes.
Yeah, that's like that fog that came up. I call it fog, mist, or whatever it was. I didn't see it at all. Right. I didn't see it at all. On the camera, you could see it. Mm-hmm. And it just comes right up around front, and it looked like it reached out for the glow stick that was in my hand. And that was like undisputable. That was 100%. You cannot, fake any of that. Nobody could say that was faked. That was 100%. See it come around and reach for the glow stick.
To start doing some screen recording of your live streams, you might have to start doing some of your own recording of those. So if something like that happens again, you'll still have a recorded video of the live stream.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do now is when I'm live, I'm going to have another camera filming also.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I should have came home right. Usually when I get back home from a live stream, I copy it right away. And that night I was just so tired. I was like, I'll get it. And then I was like, well, we'll be there. And then I'll get it whenever all the evidence, burn it when all the evidence is there. And then went to go reply, get it, and bam, it was like, it's gone. I'm like, man.
Yeah, Damien was talking about how, his health, how he's been healthy. And we were talking about how like some of the things that could happen with healing yourself and manifesting health, and some of the old methods would involve like different frequencies, and I guess like a mental state is a big part of it. You know, some people have just what seems to be maybe more of a natural ability to control their own bodies, in order to stay healthier than others.
Right. You can find that at night too. Play some while you all are going to bed. Go to YouTube on your phone or whatever, and you can find healing frequencies to heal yourself. I think those are very important because your brain has a frequency, your heart has a frequency, and if those get out of whack, that's not good. But I believe if you play the same frequency, I think you heal and manifest it.
Yeah, and I think we're the cause of a lot of that. Maybe degrading.
Right.
Our own.
I know for sure when it comes to me, that's that way. I mean, the past 4 or 5 months, I've been focusing on what's going on in Gaza and the Ukraine, and then the alleged attempt assassination of Donald Trump and all this other jazz, and I'm just like, I guess I needed to go through it one more time, and it's still not quite done yet. But it's soul sickness, if you will. It's I am so totally distracted from the things of this world and the human things of this world. Then I'm not very connected right now. Let's put it that way.
I told you already, you watch that stuff, you're going to make yourself sick. If you put yourself in, if you just watch, the world's a crazy place, man. And if you continue to watch the fighting, the arguing, the bombs, things that are going on, people dying, that is going to put you in a slumber mood. And when you do that, bad things happen to your body. I don't listen. That's why I'm one person not to listen to naysayers. I don't let the outside noise come in and bum me out. I don't care what this channel says about us. I don't care what that person says about us. I care what's happening inside this community. That's it. That's it.
I think in a lot of ways, in order to be successful in life, you do have to have that tunnel vision. And whether it's to have these encounters or film these things or have experience with what we're doing or what you guys are still doing. I've taken a break from it, obviously, but
we need you out there with us.
It's the world can distract you in so many ways from I guess deeper things, if you will, if you consider it deeper things, Curtis. Which I do. I think it's
you're right.
Because the matrix that we live in, I think is an extremely important part of it. These entities, these beings that are around us, what are they? Who are they? What's their connection with us? That type of thing. I think that's the same thing. That it's an age-old quest and question that shamans and medicine men and women and humanity is searched out for. You know what I mean? But with modernity, with television, with the internet, with work, with the dollar bill, the fiat currency, and the central banking system, we've been ensnared into a system that it's designed to distract us from who I believe we really are and what is the deeper reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're correct.
So let's see where we're.
That's our superpower, is manifesting greatness for ourselves. And I think the billionaires use it. I think they do it to get rich.
Oh yeah, because their focus is on money, right, and wealth,
yep.
and material things, and control, And I honestly think that, for me at least, I had to do a lot of disassociating or disconnecting of myself with the things of this world. I mean, I'm not saying that you don't need, because the way it's designed, obviously we need money, but I do everything I can to minimize how much I think about it, right?
Right.
Or the problems of the world, or the problems with the people, or just circumstances as far as what's going on between me and other human beings. So, but I don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing. I have no idea.
I told you a month ago, stop.
I know. I've been telling myself for a month now to stop, and I don't do it. So
Keep greatness
but
around you.
I do think a big part of it is, the fact, going back to, I'm at this crossroads, this wall, the river wall that we all deal with. I'm filming this stuff. I'm experiencing stuff, and I'm still doing. It's for me, it's a process. It's when I talk about acceptance, it's like it's something that is. It's not like one day it all just totally clicks. It's like there's new layers of acceptance of the reality that we're in, and when it comes to these things that I'm filming, that I recognize their presence, I'm hearing stuff from everyone else saying that they're Bigfoot and they're dogmen, or they're human spirits. But I'm filming stuff that looks humanoid but it's not. It's not us, and it's not Bigfoot, and it's not dogmen, and it's stuff that apparently people are not prepared yet to talk about. Which I know it's in the end of the day, it's not like, it shouldn't be the reason for doing it, but it's like I'm at a loss of words and a way to define and explain what I'm really experiencing. And I know there's a lot of people out there that say they know what I'm experiencing, and I used to be one of them, but as time has gone on, I'm like, crap, I don't know what the hell's going on here. You know what I mean? I really don't. I mean, I know that's not a satisfactory answer for the rest of the world, and it doesn't sound like I'm an expert, but the problem is the experts, they don't know what they're dealing with either.
Right. They're just talking.
So don't put yourself in that box. And if you want to experience things that's why I like to say that, I like an experiencer. I don't try to necessarily say I'm a researcher, because a lot of the times I'm not sure what the research is. Just about the experiences and your own feelings, and usually just got to trust that, trust your feelings and trust your intuition, because you can tell something's going on.
Well,
normal.
Right, and it's not fitting in the categories or the avenues, or what's the right word here? Limited hangouts, but there's something else. The channels that people want us to go down, right? And they insist you must go down this, and if you don't, then you're a whack job. But the problem is, I'm starting to realize they don't know what they're talking about, and I'm starting to figure out that. Like the images I have here, one of the things I keep filming are these little ones that are hooded. They wear hoods. I have no idea why they wear hoods. I don't know what they are. Something kind of like gnomes or dwarfs, or I call it dwarfs because there's I don't have a solid placeholder to explain what I'm filming. Right, and so it's like, I guess what I'm doing is I guess I'm trying to avoid the inevitable that I have to deal with this. It might sound unappreciative, and probably it is, the gift that they've given me, but it's at times it's like that fly that's flying around me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You put on those glasses, you can never take them off.
No, you can't. And it's like and you want to go back into the world, but the world is like
Yep.
As all the people are in their
It
boxes.
sucks. The world sucks.
When people were in their boxes, and then someone like me, I'm not in a box. I don't consider myself in a box at all.
Right.
And then something happens, and I show it, or I express what I think it is, or my views on it. Then those people who are in a box that maybe it doesn't fit in, all they really got is to just say that you're wrong, because they're just going off of what they think is in their little box.
Yes.
Well,
Thank you.
Nancy B, I know Mark. I've known Mark for 7 years, and actually, Mark did help me. I don't know, although Mark, I think that he's pigeonholed himself into saying, but he's changing. I guess I haven't seen him in a while, so, but I know he was changing, and because he was in this situation too, where everything was Bigfoot, and I'm like, not everything's Bigfoot, man. I mean, I was doing drawings of things I was finding in his films 7 years ago, paintings, and sending an image of it, emailing it, and I'm like, dude, these aren't Bigfoot. I don't know what you want to call them, but they don't look like anything that people call Bigfoot.
Right.
And I think that's the thing, is coming to the terms and explaining the ecology of the interdimensional spirit realm, because it's much more diverse than the painting or the picture that people have painted for us.
Right.
It's much more than that.
Hopefully, I'm trying to figure out why this is all happening. I really am. Hopefully with everybody we can figure this out, because there's a lot more than Bigfoot out there. I can tell you that. And I want to know why.
I mean, who are the hooded people that keep on filming? Or that people say they see? Or it's the times the things that we thought were a Bigfoot, was it a hooded person and a large, the manifesting a large state of being, and was it really a Bigfoot? That's a question that I think is very legit to ask, but people don't like to hear that because they just want to believe it's Bigfoot. And
Right.
I'm not saying Bigfoot is not real, or Sasquatch is not real, or Grassman is not real, or Dogman. I think all these things are real, but I don't think they're what. Cryptozoology is not the path to go down with understanding this stuff. That's what I'm coming to discover. You know what I mean? Because everybody wants them to be just like flesh and blood, biological beings that are going to fit the paradigm that's been painted for us, that we've been taught in school. You're talking to a guy that has a scientific background, environmental science and management.
Yeah, it's split down to many.
And
There's
college. So,
the Bigfoot community is split, man.
well, that's the thing that I think that's. I don't know how you guys feel, but it sounds like you're doing the same thing. You almost have to divorce yourself from the Bigfoot community to go down the right path and figure this stuff out.
Right.
And also, you say that about the paranormal community. I don't know. What do you think about that, Mike? I think it's some way you have to divorce yourself from that as well.
That's
Absolutely.
kind of why when I started, I never really spent time looking at what's going on or what other people are doing. Although I have made under the understanding that there might be some things that are worth looking into. Like I've discovered some great tools to use because I've looked around and seen. But
Listen, I'll be right back.
I kind of don't look too far. I don't look too far to see, what people are doing or necessarily what they think. Now I have, but I hear it and I take their experiences for what they are. But then again, I don't let that affect me. I kind of just go off of what I want to do, what I feel is right. Some people try to say that they know, what I'm experiencing. Oh, well, that's this, there's a demon there. That's what's happening. That's who's talking to you. And the thing is that I don't take that, I kind of take that as like, I respect their opinion. Maybe they're right. Maybe, but then I go off of what I feel, because if I do feel like there is something, that is not right, I'm not going to like try to force my way through it. I do go off of my instincts and my feelings more than what other people have said with their experiences, so I think that's the most important thing, with not getting stuck in, again, like that box of like always staying with what other people are doing to try to validate what they're doing. It's to me, it's just about the experiences that I have, and not expecting anything, not really having any expectations of what's going to happen, and just experience them. That's kind of like my journey, anyways. And I try not to veer off of looking at what others are doing.
Yeah, I think you have to do that. I think a couple questions here. Okay, first of all, I don't know, this is for you or for
That's the cameraman. I'm pretty sure.
cameraman. You looks like you got a $50.
Oh, thank you, Victoria. Thank you.
Now the next thing is Diesel says this, and he wanted to ask you two guys. He said, I know Mike has come across the Indian medicine man. I know you two guys. Excuse me. You two guys ever encounter any random humans out there that seem odd?
I could speak that. I can speak on this truth. Okay. Here's an instance where we were all together. Trapper, MT, me. We were out doing a hunt, and there was a guy walking up the path. No lights in the forest. No lights at all. I mean, I don't see how he didn't fall on his face. We hear him. We all look. He goes like this, and he goes, "The lights." And we turn off the lights and say sorry, and he just keeps walking. No lights at all. And we're all looking at each other like, what the? Human? I don't know. Look human.
Yeah, you just got good night vision. I mean, I remember it. It's kind of like, well, I'm like, hey, you walked up on people out in the woods at night. We got lights. We hear somebody walking. We're pointing our lights at you to see who's coming, because he didn't have lights. We couldn't see him. So it's like, sorry, we didn't mean to blind you, but we wanted to see who's coming, because you're just walking around.
Just like
lights. Yeah, some guy walking around in the dark. I don't know how he could see.
How in the hell is this guy walking around at night in the forest with no lights? Like, it was pitch black. You turn off your light. We're tripping on sticks with lights, and this guy just.
But that is a worry. And that's, to me, like I've said that before, and I still stick by that. I think the thing that I have the most worry about is when we go out and there's random people who don't have homes, people who might be under influence of some kind, that are just living out in the open, out in the woods. And we've come across some before, like ask T-Mac. T-Mac has. And it's like, when you come across that to me is the potential for like a negative, something bad to happen. Yep. That is probably the worst fear I have. And anything I bring with me to maybe protect myself, it's for that reason. Yeah. Yep. I don't bring anything with me thinking that, I'm going to be attacked by some kind of unseen force, or some kind of entity is going to attack me. I've got things on me to protect me, because I'm worried about somebody who might not be in the right state of mind that's out in the woods, because we've come across them.
Yep. Absolutely. And me and Trapper ran across that. Well, I mean, a lady eating off the ground, and they're sitting there 5 miles into the forest, man, and we still got more to go. And this guy's shooting. Yeah, this guy's just shooting squirrel. Bam, 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 bam. I mean, I'm like, what the hell, Trapper? And he's all like, I don't know, man. He's looking at us like, he just turns around and has this shit-eating grin on his face, like, I'm like, Trapper just slowly grabs his hand, puts his, on his side, and I'm like, let's just keep walking. I'm like, this was just totally weird.
Like T-Mac says, my experience is that the human beings are the most dangerous thing you run across, whether in the woods or out in the real world. I have these things that scared the living hell out of me, and at times have tormented me based on, and a big part was my own. I think it was a teaching lesson, and also to not only to teach me, but also to at times, how do I say this? It's just part of the process. I think part of the process is that you have to go through of the dark night of the soul, if you will, these dark phases in which these things will, as they say, hitchhike or just follow home, or always were there anyways and decided to manifest And I think it's part of us maturing, growing up, realizing that these things are around us, and I do believe they affect us in ways that maybe are more on the emotional and the psychological and spiritual side. But as physically goes, nothing has ever happened to me. And for the most part, even those people who say have had encounters with Sasquatch or Bigfoot or large entities, we hear stories about people maybe getting knocked out or maybe their lives are ended somehow, some way. But those are stories. But I've never met a person who are whether in the Bigfoot community or in other communities that are doing this research, who physically have actually been harmed by these things.
Right. Well,
But
entities, yes. I've known people for entities. I had a bad one, man. I had a bad attachment. I'm telling you, it was bad.
and I did too, but we survived it.
Yeah. I thought it was going to kill me, though.
Right.
Like, I absolutely thought, like, one night I was walking down the street. Well, not down the street, but on the sidewalk, coming back home. And I got so scared that I walked in the middle of the road where the yellow line is because I thought this thing was going to kill me, man. I was like, and then the next morning I walked into the church and I was like, get this thing off, man. I don't care. And like 100 people surrounded me. I was praying and then gone. I was like, thank God.
Yeah, that's like the risk, that I say. I think of us as like explorers doing this, and that's how I look at myself. It's like, an experiencer, like an explorer, and when you do that, I have to accept the fact that there might be some things which I've experienced that can happen that you didn't expect, and sometimes seem like they're negative, and that's something you have to. That's part of the risk to do it. But it shows your resolve, though. If you take those things and if you still feel like it's like part of the process and you feel like you still progress through it, then, you got to kind of still look at it as a positive thing, even though it may have been.
Hello? Mike?
Hello.
Okay.
Hello, we all froze.
You guys froze for a second.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go ahead, Mike. Or go ahead, Jack.
I think when we preach it, and I know we beat it up, go into that forest with positive energy, manifesting positivity. Because I'm telling you, go in there and you start thinking bad thoughts, or someone's in there to kill you, or a bear might eat you. Something bad is going to happen, and that's manifestation is a true thing. It's a real thing. Please believe that.
I think you're very valid.
Thoughts. Your brain is really powerful. That even if you get yourself worked up because maybe you're scared, you end up pulse rate going up high. You end up in like almost like a panic state. You could do it to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think so. I think, one of the things is if you go in, well, here's the thing that we all have to deal with.
I think we're all freezing.
The one thing we have to do is, for the first time, we can actually see your face moving, Jack. How about that? That's nice.
Yeah, I got these storms here. It's raining pretty hard.
Yeah. Same here.
So what I think, well, at least from my personal experience, is facing one's fears of the unknown and realizing that when you go out in those woods and you have these experiences and you feel the feelings that you feel, whether it's dread or whatever it may be, some negative feelings, that you can overcome it. And all you do is, like you said, I think it's reversing it. And I'm going to face this instead of making this a war between me and those things, the things that are around us, the entities, whatever, the beings. I'm just going to accept that they are there and that it's just part of the reality. They're not going to do anything to me. They might do something as far as scare the living crap out of me or torment me, and they have. And I've had, days of living hell because of it, but I've survived it, and I've been able to reflect on it and say, well, what were the possible causes? What was my part in it? It's how to survive it. And I think comes in with our religious background that we have and some of the baggage that we have. Is that when we have these negative emotions, we've been conditioned to think that we're being possessed or there's a poltergeist that's going to torment us, right? And it might happen for a spell, but for most people, it's like a night, a week, maybe a month. It's at the maximum, but you survive it. You're freaked out as hell because you're dealing with something that you don't understand, and the people around you. You realize that the priest really doesn't know what he's talking about. The pastor doesn't really know what he's talking about. Most of the medicine men and medicine women aren't going to reveal too much to you to begin with if they do understand it, because I think they understand deep down inside that you have to go through that dark night of your soul. It's part of the journey for us. Maybe not for everyone, but for us. And I mean, and it's easy for me to say this today, but if you were to talk to me back in 2017, I'd be singing a different tune. Because I was going through it, right? I was going through the negative experiences. I was going through the tormenting. I mean, it got bad enough for me, that second time I had that encounter with a Bigfoot in my backyard, and then for the 3 days of living frickin' hell, in which, I mean, I'm calling on people, I'm doing all, praying all the time, blessing the home, all that kind of stuff. I got rid of all sorts of things, occultic paintings and books, and I got, I went to the extreme, right? But I looking back, is because I didn't know any better. There was nothing else to lean on to or to understand, and there was no one ever said, "Hey, Mike, this is part of the process. Just go through it. You're going to survive it. It's going to be really weird and scared to live in hell of it, but you're going to get to the other side, and you're going to learn something about the realm that's around you that most people will never know."
ORD, I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's been lagging like really bad.
Yeah, you're lagging bad, Ordy.
I was kind of following you there, but you're lagging like pretty hard.
Is it speaking?
What's that?
Is it just speaking?
Yeah, the stream. I think it's because of the storms.
Do you think I should drop out and come back in?
I think you sound pretty good now.
All right. Maybe I'm too far away from the mic too. So anyways, I ramble on. So be it. So let's go through this thing here. We're talking about, and you tell me if there's any other steps involved. Let's start with, because we're talking about how to have something manifest, right?
Yeah.
But based on our own experience. I mean, there's books out there and you can read all that stuff, and I'm going to tell you if that's what you want to do. But I personally, from my personal experience, the best thing to do is not listen to the people, the channel and the mystics and the mediums and all the other people, and don't listen to the stories that they're being told, and just develop your own story.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, listening to having people on your side and taking in what they say is always a positive thing. You know what I'm saying? I think that you could weigh out the wrong from the right. I think,
because there's a lot of stories. I mean, here's an example for whatever it's worth, and hopefully you guys can see it. But I filmed what I believe is a Wendigo in this tree. You can see him right here. Is the head and his horns and his arm and his hands reaching around here. And I believe it's a tree that, when I was a wizard, I filmed it manifest. It looks like a Wendigo to me, at least, and what people talk about in native folklore. And you were told that if that's going to happen, you see the manifestation or some kind of encounter with a so-called Wendigo that, or even mention the name, that just something terrible is going to happen to you. You're going to die. Well, nothing terrible happened to me, and I'm still around. So,
yeah,
my point in that is there's stories and there's legends, but that doesn't mean it's reality.
right. Well, I think that goes along with man having that manifestation. If you go out like those kids, God bless them, they went out looking for a Wendigo. One of them ended up dying, God bless them. And that's a bad thing, but that goes along with go into the forest with clean thoughts,
Yeah, I
If
think
you go looking for a
I-
bad time, you're going to find a bad time. You always go looking for, a good time, you're going to find a good time.
what I discover for me is not even having the thoughts that distract us throughout the day, the bills, the personal problems, an argument, the way somebody said something, somebody annoyed you or you annoyed somebody else. You get all these things get in the way. I think you really have to be almost like develop the ability to be psychologically an empty vessel and just say I'm going to stay focused on and just focus on these things and say, hey, here I am. And for me, going back to step 4 for me, which is to talk to the creator or Lord of all spirits. Now, I know you guys talk to the spirits that you're going to interact with. My strategy is not to talk to them so much as talk to the Lord of all spirits. Now you can decide what that is for you. I'm not pushing religion on anybody, but when I talk to the source, if you will, of God, whatever you want to call it, it seems, from my experience, it seems to either attract these things to me, or it itself allows me to film these things and have these experiences. I know that makes any sense. It's not a religious experience. It's not the same thing. People talk about having a religious experience. I'm talking about having something deeper than that.
Yeah.
This is like so personal and so one-on-one type of thing. And when I'm doing it, when I'm really doing it, I'm not focusing on anything else. I'm not focusing on what's wrong with the car. I'm not focusing on the troubles maybe with my son. I'm not focusing on what's going on with the government or anything. I'm just focusing on
doing what you're there to do.
Yeah, and that's to have the experience to interact with these things and try to understand them.
And like Ramona always taught me too, when it comes to what you're talking about, is the like when I always make an offering to show respect, a tobacco offering, to follow the 3 keys that I believe that's to show the respect to all the entities, all the spirits, to the creator, especially for everything, for the connection, for all the animals, for all the life, and to make my offering and to verbally acknowledge that, and to acknowledge the creator and acknowledge everything that, and to understand that you're dealing with the higher beings. And, all that together is kind of like part of my offering. And that's kind of how I make my initial connection wherever I go. And I do think that that's part of manifesting the kind of interactions you're going to have, because that is part of me. And when I say like that, everything about you can be seen by higher beings, and I think that is something that when it's picked up, it helps with the interactions with that I think manifest from the intentions that you have. That's a big part of how to go about it.
Absolutely.
We've seen something like that, but me and MT did, but it was white and small.
Are you answering Reverend PC's question?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's a question.
Yeah. It looked like Golem.
Up in the tree.
Yeah.
You're talking about at the swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the best way to describe it. It looked like Golem. It was pretty weird.
What my strategy too, when I was doing it too, is I was developing empathy and sympathy for these things. If that makes any sense. It might be very arrogant too on my part, but it's the whole thing of they can't help it. They are what they are. You know what I mean? Any more than I can help what I am, or you know what I mean. All you can do is like, for me, I learned acceptance. I say, okay, whatever's going to be shown, I'm just not going to I'm just going to open up my eyes to see it and accept it.
Right.
As much as I get freaked out about it, I keep on reminding myself that the reason why I have the emotions, the feelings, and the thoughts is because I've been indoctrinated by the culture that I live in whether it's through religion or from media or from the Hollywood, and that these, I got to keep reminding myself that they are images and tales that other people have offer up, and to me, you know what I mean. But none of that's real. That's just stuff that's on video in a costume. You know, it's CGI, whatever it may be.
Right.
All that stuff, it's not real. And I'm learning how to say, you know what? Just because they say that you guys are monsters doesn't mean you're monsters.
Right.
Because we can easily say the same thing about ourselves. Look
Correct.
at all the horrendous things that human beings have done.
Absolutely.
And in the end of the day, isn't that what we're really dealing with? For the most part, you know. So that's how this acceptance. I think acceptance is a big thing. So, anyways, going back to this inquiring, investigating. So for me, inquiring. What is inquiring, investigating for you guys? We even got, you know, the first step. What does that mean to you? Or
Good.
should I say first to me what it means to me, and then you guys bounce off it?
Say it again. Let me get that question again, Mike. I was
So
deep
the
into
first step in this and try to manifest stuff is the inquiry and investigation. And that, for me, that would have been in the beginning, was actually listening to shows like this, watching videos, listen to everyone else had to say, until I realized and convinced myself that it was a limited hangout, it was a dead end, and that I was going to have to do this stuff myself. I was going to have to go. So how was it for you to get to the point when it comes to inquiry, investigation? I know this is only a part of it, because then there's the fields research and all that. But the beginning, tell us what the beginning was, and then how it is maybe in the middle and what it is now, type of thing. Does that make sense?
the beginning was the realization that there are what I felt was spirits communicating to me. When I first had that realization, that's when the curiosity took over. And I think the curiosity to, it's not necessarily to understand it. That's always been a big thing with me, is that I really am not looking to find the answers. It's more of just the experience and the connecting. I started to realize there's a connection, and that's kind of where I've been. It's kind of the avenue I've been going with. But it's been, it started with realizing that there are spirits that can still talk to you. And that has always been the thing that started what I do and has been driving. And then that evolved once I had my first sighting at West Branch, when I seen the entity in the woods. And that's when I realized there's something else out here. And then through that process, I haven't necessarily changed my main intent of what I do, but I just have a new understanding that there's more kinds of interactions than just spirits trying to reach out and talk. I've seen them, and I know that there's more out there. And you know, that's kind of like, it's the curiosity to interact and have those experiences is kind of what it's evolved into, with the understanding there's more out there than just spirits talking to you.
Yeah. Mine was kind of the same way. Mine was, I seen the proof, then I had to dig more. I'm always that person. I have to dig more. I need to know the whys. Why did that happen? Why am I seeing this? And then, you know, getting my first encounter, just it went deep. And then I had whys, and then it was like, well, I need people to help me. You know, people with these things that happen to them, what they seen. And then it was a time where how can I say this without being, I don't think there's no good way to say it, so I'm not going to say it, but I had to weed out all the BS, I guess.
Oh, there's a lot of it out there, let's be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're going to say that we're full of BS too, by the way. The only way they're gonna know,
absolutely.
the only way anyone's going to know that we're telling the truth is if they take on the challenge and try our path, our approach instead of what everyone else is saying, and see if there's any difference.
Right. And it's BS means the naysayers or the people that say, this or that, or it's just this way. Nothing's just one way. You know what I'm saying? So it was getting rid of those people and then chasing it and finding the whys. And that's what keeps me going. But I mean, different from being out, as sitting here after I get off here, I'm going to research more, because I'm just always been that person. I want the whys. Why is this happening? Can we come to a conclusion for everybody? We're all looking for one thing, proof for one thing. We need it. Got to kind of dig deep, dig through all the BS.
Although I must say that question of the why can be maddening, and so far, I mean, I could make up stuff like everyone else does. I could parrot what other people say, or I can get honest. And I think honesty is a big part of this journey.
Honesty,
not only how we deal with other human beings, but even within ourselves and with what's going on here. But the thing is like, I can't tell you why, as much as I want to, with all honesty, why I'm experiencing what I experienced and why it happened. All I can tell you is the journey and how it developed and how it became it. You know what I mean? How it became.
Yeah.
I can't tell you why it's happening to me and it's not happening to the other person. Why am I focused on this stuff and other people aren't? To me, especially if you're a truth searcher, this should inevitably become part of it. But I think what's happened, it's been pigeonholed and dumbed down and put into categories of it's Bigfoot research, it's paranormal research. And I'm not trying to be insulting to anybody, because I think we're all victim of this, right? We're all victim of this, that what the label is, what other people say it is, instead of just going, okay, I'm going to just go for it, and whatever the hell happens, and if it's contrary to what everybody else is telling me, I'm going to have to learn to accept it. And that's what's been happening. And I see that with you guys, and I see it with like guys like Diesel and others. Damien, they're having your own journey and experience, and it contradicts everything that everyone else says.
It does.
And I think the whys, the why this happens, the reasons, the answers to the phenomenon, I think it's always going to be above our understanding, beyond our understanding. I don't think we'll ever be able to understand it. And that's why that's why I don't try to focus necessarily on getting the answers to what is happening. I think that's something in time, maybe we can come closer to, with clues to understanding what's going on, collecting data, showing how, energy, we can show data of like energy ratings and things. We can kind of like build up maybe ideas,
right?
But I don't really ever think the whys to what is going on. I think the answers are just way beyond us. I don't think we'll ever understand them.
No, but we can get close. I mean, and maybe the future, future investigators can look at what we got, like, reading trees with energy meters. Me and Mike, did that. We did we dig deep a lot, and a lot of people don't see it. We're starting to show it now, when we go out, why we go out, explaining what we're doing. Before it was just, you all get to see a video, you get to see the hunt with no whys. But I think with our findings now in the future, I hope it helps somebody understand more, and maybe,
right. Showing the connection. That's the thing that for me, that's the biggest thing, is showing the experiences, showing the connection, and showing that, I think it's a natural kind of connection. And for people to see the experiences that I'm having, is kind of what, that's my, like I said, the experiencer part of me, the explorer part of me is to show that. And to have those experiences, I think will lead to some form of an understanding, but that's kind of that's as far as I look into it. I collecting the data and trying to come up with, things like we did with the trees, like you're saying, it shows more. I think showing more about how things are happening is important. But, that's the thing. I feel definitely we'll never really understand exactly how and why some of the things happen. But that's what's kind of exciting about it.
Right. I mean, that's part of, for a guy like me, those are the why question torments me and always will. So why is this happening? You know what I mean? Why is there a correlation or connection with the trees, right? Why? I think I'm getting close to an understanding of it, but then to demonstrate it, to prove it in a scientific way in which it can be reproduced and replicated, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. So
no, not even close. Not even close.
I was going to
but
talk.
I hope that, like I said, I hope what we're doing now helps the community, the Bigfoot community out, help make sense of things, what's going on. And, the evidence that we leave behind when we're gone, I hope it helps the next, group of investigators.
Here's one of the things too I've discovered too when it comes to this, for me at least, and I think this is part of the problem too. Collectively, it's a human condition because we're so easily distracted as creatures. We're incredibly distracted, and I think they take advantage of this stuff. So, say you're out in the woods, say you're camping in the woods for a night, right, or for a weekend, and so you're busy doing all these chores and projects. And then you do the inevitable hike and you do all this other stuff. And I think, one of the most important things too, and I had to learn this, I'm forced to have to learn this through my health issues, but I do believe it's absolutely important. And that is to be able to be still, to be able to go to a place and be present. You know what I mean? And literally stay in one location, find a good location, stay present for at least 5-10 minutes, learn how to actually look at the forest, the trees, and which is a very difficult thing. There's a lot of hunters that can't do this, and they spend their time doing it. I'm talking about actually looking at the chaos of the trees, the branches, the leaves, everything around it. Be present to any changes, any inconsistencies, anything that sticks out, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. I start being present to the feelings, thoughts in your head. There have been times when I aimed the camera at a place and it's like something besides myself. It was more than just nerves and my nervous system and an automatic reaction on my part that just I aimed the camera at this one spot. Started taking some pictures, and next thing you know, I'm filming something, or I hear something, or I sense something, and I'm like, and I think part of the problem that happens that I see everyone do, and I'm not knocking at people because I know it's part of the thing and it's part of, but at least individually, if not, I was trying to say this. It's more entertaining for people following us to be walking around in the woods, right? It's not so interesting and entertaining to stay present and still and say nothing.
Right.
And so that's part of the gig too, and what we have to do, at least I have to do, and that is to say nothing, which is not entertaining to people around you, but it's necessary in the research. I mean, you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I get what you're saying.
Right. I think the difference is those are things that you might say you disconnect. You disconnect to a certain point. Like if you go camping, right? if you're out with your family, you're camping, you're not going to want to try to manifest something, right? You just disconnect in a way that, you know, you're not going to try to have experiences like we purposefully do when we go out and we film. So like, you know, that's kind of like being grounded, you know, still being grounded, but still being connected spiritually. So, you know, kind of like being able to stay on both sides and not one way or the other, and then connecting differently, not recording, right? Not filming.
Right.
Sometimes I'll spend time over here at the Hopewell Mound, and I'll just go up there and I'll sit down and I'll just have thoughts, like meditate. And that's not something, like you said, it's not necessarily something you're going to film to show people that, you know, maybe some might like it, but it's something more of like personal for you. You know, there's something more personal for you to do in a different way of connecting that maybe, like you said, you know, it's not something people want to see, but it might be important for you to do.
Right. And when we go into the forest, we're always there a good hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours before we even film. I mean, and that's, you know, given our intent, we're gifting, you know,
we're just hanging out.
We're getting into the, you know, vibration of things, and then we film.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of like, you know, what we're basically doing is we are kind of demonstrating this manifestation, you know, that we talk about, manifesting the experiences, showing that it is a phenomenon that is there, that can happen. And it shows that part of it has to do with you. It's not just something, you know, an outside force is what's always causing it. It's like a two-way connection.
Yeah. And
So,
like I said,
Taj Quinn keeps. This anyone that asked a question. Somebody asked about a near-death experience, and says, "Mike, I believe in there's something after death."
absolutely.
I do too, and I think that's an important
Absolutely.
important element in the journey and in the research itself.
We are energy. We're energy. We're vibration. Our brain and our hearts have different vibrations. I mean, you just don't lose that. You know, you shoot up energy into space, it keeps going. Yeah.
So would you
dissipate, it keeps going.
I don't know if the question was asked if you guys had a near-death experience, and Jack says he has. Would you be willing to share it? Because it is part of the process. I mean, one of my journey too is then you start looking into near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, astral projecting. What do you call that stuff? When you're first born, you know, near-birth experiences, and all sorts of weird stuff. You start looking at all these people, their experience, you know, what they say they experience. So with you, Jack, you had the near-death experience. So would you be willing to share with that? And while you're doing that, I'm going to walk. I'll be listening, but I got to walk.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll keep it short and sweet. I was on my way to work. It's about 4:30 in the morning. Got up to a red light. And it was, well, I could see the red light. It turned green. I kept on going, and a car came and hit me at about 50-something, over 55 miles per hour, T-bone right into my driver door. And I don't remember a thing. The sheriff said that I was standing outside of the car. You don't know how I got out of the car. I remember standing there telling him I was really thirsty, and then I remember hitting the ground. And then I kind of woke up in life flight. And then I remember they went to a hospital, and then I woke up in the hospital, said they couldn't do nothing for me here to take me here, so they had to life flight me twice. But I was in a coma for around a little over 14 days. And during that time is weird because I seen somebody sitting in the chair. I was in a coma, but I seen somebody sitting in the chair with long hair. And they were like, it'd be all right. It'd be all right. You know, and I'd look over, which I was in a coma, but somehow I looked over and they were sitting there. And then when I came out to it, I was like, who was that? You know, asked the nurse, was there somebody here? And they were like, no, not who you're speaking of. But yeah, it was crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, I got plates in my head, and they didn't think I would make it. They said that they called family, but I'm here. So short and sweet.
Wow, that's pretty heavy. But you know, I started looking into near-death experiences. I watched. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy, but there's a whole collection database that they put together, thousands of near-death experiences all together. A doctor's they've been doing a study on it for a while, and that's very interesting. And the connection to having a near-death experience, and then different kinds of potential seem to open for some, like remote viewing was something that seemed to be associated with people who've had near-death experiences. And that always made me wonder about, you know, you talk about manifesting these experiences, and, you know, even connecting with spirits. And the like Linda Eastburn, you know, I was talking about her, and she can remote view. She also teaches remote viewing, and you know, in her book I was reading about it, and she talked about how there's a certain kind of method to doing that, and it involves frequency connecting between your heart and your brain. And I think that kind of connection is the same kind of connection that manifests the experiences we have. The thing is that it, you know, our level might not be the same as some. Like maybe there's, you know, from your experience, maybe that's why a lot of the things have a different kind of connection with you specifically, because maybe from your experience, you know, that caused that changed something with your body's frequency. And maybe that is, you know, a reason why your experiences are different. You know, it's interesting to look into. When you look into that and you're doing things like we do, you start to connect these things, you know, and it starts to kind of make sense now.
Yeah, it's yes, you know, digging in this manifestation, you know, sometimes I have questions about it. You know, like we talked about last night. Did me wanting those glow sticks disappear? Did I do that? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying.
Been half of the reason.
Yeah.
You know, that connection was understood.
Yeah.
And whoever was there that was connecting with you was like, okay, let me do that.
Yeah. Let me make it disappear for you.
Yeah. I think that's what happens in a way.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, me and Mike been talking about this, you know, for gosh, what, over 2 months, manifesting. And
in a way it's always been there, but it's kind of like we're starting to realize more and more what it means.
Right. So there's a lot of, if you search manifesting, there's 4 common things for ghost experiencing, you know, experience. But we're taking it past that, you know, manifesting. What is it, you know? And it's a real thing. It's absolutely 100% a real thing. You know, saying that you can manifest money. Do it. Try it. Manifest good health. Manifest something. Just
like
knowing
Linda,
what you want.
Like Linda talked about when they were doing the same kind of experiments, and she talked about how, you know, they would go for coffee. You know, she was with a group that were doing this research, and they would go to a coffee shop, and it was a busy city, and there was like, you know, 1 or 2 good parking spaces right up front, never open, right? And she talked. Right. I don't know if you read the book either, but she talked about in the book, and then they were going to work on actually using their connection to manifest being able to park in that spot that's never open. And she talked about how when they focused on that and did that, then when they went to go to the coffee shop, the parking space was there. And that was the only time it was there. And they went through that cycle of testing that ability to actually manifest a certain kind of situation or occurrence. And it was very interesting, you know. And I think again, that's when you talked about like the ability to remote view and how that involves the synchronization of like your body's frequency with your heart and your brain. I think this is the same kind of connection that can manifest probably an infinite amount of things, and it's probably connected to how these things happen. You know,
Yeah.
when we're doing what we do.
Yeah, and with those glow sticks, Dean, that was crazy. I put them up, walked away, walked about 20 feet, turned around. You know, you seen one, you know, put the next one up, walked up, turned around. You could see them both. Kept walking, put another one up, turned around. You could see all three, and then gone. You know, except that one in the forest. That was just, I didn't go back and get it. I just left it. I was like, okay, because I was thinking to myself, why? You know, did I manifest that to happen and then manifest? I didn't want to get lost. You know what I'm saying? Didn't want to get lost in there. But then if I manifested that to happen, them to take it, boy.
Well, I think it's happened. Well, just like
stuff. That brings a whole new meaning to what we're doing, what everybody's doing. And I think a lot of people need to open their eyes out there in the Bigfoot community. You're going out, you're flying drones, you're doing this, you're manifesting, could be manifesting something to happen. Flesh and blood or not. Your manifestation. Correct?
I agree with you. Diesel brings up an interesting thing too. He talks about the demonic magicians. I think they get help from the spirit world a little. I think there seems to be some evidence in that, although the materialistic, atheistic, scientific community would not like that to hear that such a thing. But I think that has always happened. I think that what you were experiencing, and it's funny that you were by yourself when that happened. I mean, how many times is although we are with you, virtually, but in reality, you're by yourself. And so I think that's part of the trickster spirit thing that we're dealing with. And so, for me, I can accept what you're saying because of my own experiences. And that it's like, they seem to really get a kick out of the fact of,
Gosh, thank you.
Interacting with us. And, I try to keep them here. You know what I mean? And so, here you are all by yourself and in the woods, you put the glow sticks out, and next thing you know, a couple of them just go missing. And you said you saw a shadowy being, at least what appeared to be like a misty, like ectoplasma or ectomist type of being, and smoke like being showed up.
And I didn't see it out there. I seen it on the video when I rewatched it. That was the crazy thing. I did not see it out there. I seen people telling me in the messages about it, but I thought they were talking about something else. And I was just like, yeah, I seen Jelly Man out here. Could be Jelly Man, could be something, this. I didn't know they were saying right in front of you because I didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, well, maybe they're saying this,
So is that for you, Jack? It's Tosh Quinn.
Yes, thank you, Tosh.
Okay. I think you said thank you earlier. Just to make sure they get noticed. Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's fascinating. Another, why do these beings, these whatever they are, beings of energy, whatever, spirits, whatever, why do they have so many times have the interactions with us when in a solo one-on-one kind of experience instead of a group? Not to say it doesn't happen in groups, but if far more happens with people individually. And then if you try to prove it, you see over and over again, people try to prove it on television or in a group, and nothing happens. And then it's almost like you're made to look like a charlatan. And many people are charlatans. Or the purpose, or on our own part, or is it like I said, I think when we're together, it's inevitable. You can't like right now. I'm focusing on what's in the chat room, what you guys are saying. I'm focused on anything but what's next to me or behind me, or you know what I
Right.
mean. And so, but when you're by yourself, your senses
Thank you, Tosh.
are alert.
Yeah. And I think like there was, let's see, at West Branch, there was me, Trapper, Empty Paranormal. When you seen that thing by the mound, who was all with us?
Well, the thing that was moving,
Yeah, it looked like
I was actually at home. I was watching that.
No. At
Oh.
West Branch that night by the big mound, there was a mound of rocks or dirt. There was a big group of us together. Remember that stick-like thing you said at by the tree, and then it moved, and it was like black. You could see it, and we were chasing it, and then you actually seen it.
Was that the first time I went with you to West Branch? I'm trying to remember that. It's
First
hard
or
to remember so
second,
many.
it was by the fence. There was the fence, and then that mound, and we were chasing that black thing, and you didn't see it, but then you saw it, and we didn't see it. So there was a group of us there. So I think the group has to have all the same intent. So when you take a group out, you can't have someone in your group going, well, I really don't want to have an encounter. The next person's like, man, I really don't want to do this, but I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Then you have 5 other people going, okay, I want to see something. I think that throws things off.
Yeah, there's some weird. I mean, it's strange. Sometimes you're alone, and the interactions can be, like no other. And then sometimes even in a group, some strange things happens, like with you and Trapper and me and those rocks over at the swamp. That was one of the most amazing experiences that I remember, because that's something a physical force that can act in a manner like that, to me is amazing.
Right.
And that's only happened when there was the 3 of us. I mean, there's been times like it, like different things, like us seeing some things, just you and I, but the intensity and like what happened with those rocks, that same kind of intense experience only happened when it was the 3 of us there.
Right.
So it's like, it's almost like it's just more unexplained, hard to really understand the synergy between more people versus less people. It's like, it's more strangeness.
Yeah. But I think it's all, like I said, the intent when you go out.
Yeah.
Please, if you're going out, anybody, anybody that watches, if you're going out to forest to look for these things, be prepared. Be prepared for people. You might have an encounter with a human. Don't think bad things. Just clear your mind. Go out. Don't go, in the forest having a bad day and you're trying to go out there to find something. It's going to be bad. You're going to have a bad time. You might waste your time. You might feel like, well, this was a waste of time. I didn't see anything.
I think one of the biggest pieces of evidence, if anybody wants to know how something unexpected and absolutely just unbelievable could happen, look at that video from Claim 3 when the Jelly Man came up to you in the red light.
Yep.
When you see that, I mean, that's an impossible, to me, that's an impossible encounter.
Yep.
How many encounters have you ever seen that were actually captured on film where an actual entity that's visible? I mean, it's there. There's no doubt. You could see it.
Right.
Something like that can come within 5 feet and just come right up to you. And it's just right there. You can't
Prior
unsee
to
it.
that,
We guys are calling the Jelly Man. That's not the same video that we shared before, Mike, with like, it's the same. Okay.
In the red light, with the red light.
And while I'm asking a question, Tosh Quinn is asking if, Mike, do you have a donation I can, to, I guess they want to donate to you, Mike.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Tosh. There's on my YouTube page, MT Paranormal Life. I think I have a button for the PayPal.
well, aren't you both Mike? You're both Mikes.
Well, yeah, everyone else knows me either as ORD or as Loosh, or whatever. So they don't really. Very few people call me like.
But that'll
Prior
change.
to
I mean,
that,
just
Jelly
watching
Man, you remember on the thermal?
Mhm.
I caught that thing
the
on the
hand.
live. You and Trapper were behind me, and I caught that figure standing there on the thermal.
Yeah, the hand
It
that
was-
came up to the thermal.
Yeah, in the hand. I don't know. Some of the newer people might not remember that, but all that's, if you go to the cameraman Facebook page, you can go to pictures and then scroll and find it. But that hand came out just like that, like it was coming right towards the camera. But prior to that, there was a body standing there, and we were live showing it. So I think he showed himself to us in that form, and then then the Jelly Man showed himself again in the jelly form. That's what we call it. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, like that. That's
No,
all
so
it
do you
is.
think it's the same entity?
I think so.
Okay.
I think it could be. I mean, I still.
No, we're talking about the same thermal image that the very first time that you guys did a show with me back.
Some of those are from West Branch, I think.
Was it first time a year ago, a year and a half ago? The very first time we did a show to get you share the image of the thermal image of the figure.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
in the
those
hand.
were the cameramans from West Branch.
So that's been
Which
a
one?
while.
The one with the thermal of the guy, I call it a guy. We were live, and I was holding the thermal and was snapping pictures off to save to the thermal, and you could see the outform, the heat signature, and everything in the hand
Yeah,
All right.
that was coming
Yeah,
towards the
flinched.
thermal.
I remember you flinched when
Yeah.
that hand came towards the camera. You were like, "Whoa!" Like you jumped back.
Yeah, because it
And
just
like
came up to a hand. Like, what the
So
hell?
what is your impression of that? Was it a Bigfoot? Was it a human being? I mean, it had humanoid like outline figure, but
its hand sure looked like a person, didn't it?
Its hand looked like a person.
But that whatever it was in a red light, that was very. I don't know how to even describe what that looked like, but it was not. That didn't look like any kind of a person. So
let's
maybe
talk about,
there are different things, or maybe there's something that is like something that changes its form.
Yeah,
who
there's
knows?
just-
As
Yeah,
part of this creation, there's a whole bunch of speculation and guessing, and it's
Right, man.
yeah.
what kind
I
of
just-
place did we get thrown into here, huh?
Yeah, right now it's just there's no right or wrong answer to this. So I don't know why people are battling in the community, Bigfoot community. Oh, it's flesh and blood. No, it's another dimension. Why are people battling? That shouldn't be. I mean, we should all put our notes
People are
together,
tribal by nature, aren't they? And we have
work together.
we're warring too. It's like our ancestors a few generations ago, even though we still have wars, they used to be we expressed or invented our frustration or anger and all that through physical form. Now we do it verbally, thoughts, because the physical has been kind of oppressed through for good reasons, right? That's how I see it. That a lot of it is it's human, it's uncontrolled human nature.
Right. It's,
And everyone's guilty of it to a certain level or not, and some are worse than others. Some people, they have to be constantly in conflict with other people to feel like you're alive, and a lot of people feel this it's a sign of weakness that you're not willing to do it. So it is what it is, right?
Yeah, I don't see what the battling's about. I know everybody wants to be the first person to capture it. But if everybody works together, and I think it'd be a better way to prove these things exist. I think the government's just like, let these guys beat each other up, because
I think so. I think that this is where the weaponization of anthropology comes into this whole scene, and this whole thing about forcing the narrative of Sasquatch. And I'm not saying that Sasquatch is not real, but I'm just saying, and I'll probably say to my deathbed, that Sasquatch represents about like, 1 out of 100 of what we're really experiencing, right? I mean, it's not
Right.
it's not or the end all be all that's going on in the woods. It's just part of it.
Right.
But people, out of convenience, and I do believe it's part of the weaponization, that they lump everything into it being Bigfoot, and then people are afraid to venture outside what the group think and think for themselves, and they keep going along with it. We're conditioned to do this through religion, through school, through business, through relationships. We think that we have to, if we deviate from what the group is saying, the group is threatened. You find this in religion, right? You question something that's in the Bible, and next thing you know, you're excommunicated, and people are afraid to be excommunicated. These groups that they become part of. And I know this, and I had to go through it. Everyone has to go through it, and then you have to say, what? The truth is more important than being part of the group. Now, most people aren't going to do that. So that's something that we have to deal with, and it doesn't make us better than anyone else. It's just what is your desire? What do you want more? Some people want to be part of the group, and that's more important. And other people, they want to know the truth. Here's the thing I was going to ask you guys, though, and this is going with this whole thing about talking to the Creator or the Lord of all spirits. And this is what I should have put in there is rituals. What rituals do you guys do? Because, and this is the thing, you'll find this, it could be whether it's somebody who's spiritualist or a channel. There's like, they have a channel or whatever it is. They all have their rituals. A lot of times they're rituals that somebody else, they just follow what somebody else told them to do. You know what I mean? I'm not knocking them. It just is what it is. But I'll just speak for myself first, is that my ritual, if I want something to happen, the thing that I discover that works best is when I focus on the Creator, or I call it Lord of all spirits. I know a lot of people, they find offense because it comes out of the book of Enoch. But anyways, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't really matter. I call it Lord of all spirits, and when I call it Lord of all spirits, and I've talked to it and being positive about it with this force, I'm not talking about getting on my knees and praying and all. I'm like actually talking like you and I right now, looking and sounding like a madman. I understand that. So I do it by myself alone, where there's no distraction, right? And if I do that, I start having results within sometimes that day, within the week, whatever. I stay focused on that, and then things happen, things manifest. I don't know if these things are interested in the Lord of all spirits or God or the Creator or the concept, or they just, I don't know why it works, but that's what works for me. And I noticed that other people, whether shamans or they have something very similar. I know a lot of people, they feel the need that there has to be some kind of mechanical type of preparation and, make it happen. For a good example is a lot of people out there, they'll read books, whether in the dark side, the light side, they have the prayers they feel they need to read and all that. And I personally, it never worked for me. Whatever worked for me the best is when I'm just me and being kind of as open as a book as I possibly can to the source, the Creator.
Right.
What's the rituals and rites that you guys do to try to make it happen? I know we talked about positive thinking. That's one of them, but there's also usually people do all sorts of stuff. Which are tactics?
When I get out there, I pray for protection. First thing I say, I'm only here to visit. Thank you for, I want to get an encounter, thank you for having me an encounter, but that would be my closeout also. But, you're not allowed to attach yourself to my equipment in the name of God. You're not allowed to follow me home, attach yourself to the cars, any of us. You have to stay here. This is your home. And, in the name of Jesus, God, that's who I believe in. And then leaving also, I say the same thing, and then I'll touch a tree, show my energy, gift. If I burn something, gift, just give it my intent, and I'll do it both. I'll do it out loud and silently, I'll talk to it.
I always vocalize my intent wherever I go. I make an offering, which is always a tobacco offering, to show my respect, and I vocalize that. But one of the other key thing that's very important, a key thing, um, we know, at least I'm pretty sure most of us who do this know, you're dealing with a higher being, a higher entity, spirits that basically you're what all of you is known, and you have to be genuine. You have to be yourself when you're interacting. Like when I interact, I'm just me. I'm not doing anything out of my normal character. Everything that I do, however I interact, I always stick to being myself.
Right.
And I think that's very important, because there's something to that is, that genuine self that you're recognized as. If you are that person, that I think is like something that is looked at. And I think if you start acting out, trying to force something, trying to do something you wouldn't normally do or be who you're not, I think that almost like disconnects you, and it might cause the opposite effect of what you're trying to get.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Don't go out of character out there.
Yeah.
I think when you run and you're screaming or you're yelling, I think they go, this person can't handle it.
Yeah. They probably already knew that from the start.
Yep.
And if you do it, I mean, it's like, I think that the right kind of person is, that's something that it maybe is intriguing or draws in spirits or entities to you.
Right.
And I generally don't think we ever really go any other direction than being who we are and behaving in the way that we normally would. I think, like, just don't try to force something. Don't try to turn into like bad cop when you're not normally someone who's going to be some kind of a aggressive manner, like start acting out. I think that's going to give you the opposite results that you're looking for.
Absolutely. You hit the nail right on the head.
So basically, what we're trying, I think it sounds like the three of us, we're simple guys doing it our own simple way, and there's people out there that say that there's a certain formula you have to follow to make this happen. But I think it's a personal thing, and I think it really comes down to whatever you need to do in order to get yourself in the right state of mind and emit the right kind of energy to make things happen.
Yeah.
I want to deviate from this a little bit, and if you guys care to look at this, let's look at this video. I don't know if you guys seen of this thing, the acclaimed angel traveling on the power line, because I think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
I got to go get the door real quick, and I'll be right back.
All right.
Oh, okay, that's no problem. Hey, you guys want to take like a 5-minute intermission break and have a cigarette and piss break and all that kind of stuff and come back and do it?
Sounds good.
I'll play some music. How's that?
All right, I'll be right back.
So, music-wise, let's play something. Some music that I like. I always kind of play the same old things. While we're talking about this stuff and kind of do our own thing, should I do that one? Disconnect.
Yeah,
Disconnect is about walking away from your cell phone. Is that a good one or not?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. This is bad. Everyone's thinking about this. Do. Break the spell's kind of cool. This is really bad. I'm gonna do that. Let's do something uplifting.
I think I was saying, Jack, before, about, the being yourself. One of the things that I don't mention too much that say that, we're vulnerable. We're real vulnerable when we do this. And I think that's kind of important, to accept that. Because it's like, you kind of put yourself on a level of trust with what's there. And that's like an important thing with protecting yourself. Still being, doing what we do essentially, but knowing there's a level of trust we have. Put ourselves out there. That's, at least in my mind, I think that's important to recognize.
Yeah. I got me coffee. It's a good song. Thank you, God.
Thank you. Kind of ready for the cold weather again. Weirdly.
Oh, I am ready.
Yeah. You got a ways yet. On to the rest of the. I'm okay playing my head.
If there was a way to mute this. Thank you, God. Yeah, stuff. Learned and seen a lot of stuff. Crazy. I think it's been a blessing. The man is back.
All right. Take a little break there, and hopefully didn't drive away too many people. Let's check out this video, guys, because I think this is fascinating. And up. Let's see if we get. Okay, I don't want to play the volume. Let's just look at this. Okay, video. Where's the video? Oh, I gotta go through this. I'm sorry. You didn't time it right. Ah. Anyways,
It happens. Manifest it.
So this is supposed to be. What the heck? Okay, dang! I keep missing it. Okay, man catches an angel riding on a power line in Texas. Sure looks that way. I don't know. I mean, I guess people could fake it. People do. I don't know. How would you do it? Maybe you guys know. Although the reason I put it up there because I don't know. I think it might just be real.
I think that's amazing.
No, look at it. It's supposed to be an
That's
angel. Like you see the wings, just so everybody sees.
Yeah.
Moments before. So moments before, let's see what happens here. What the heck?
That's something.
It sure looks like a body. It's almost like a head, arms, that kind of something. I don't know.
Yeah. Needs the energy to manifest.
Which is something we bring up a lot, and isn't that? Is that when you're around power lines, trees, power lines, God knows what else is going on in Texas there. But you can almost, it looks like it's got wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point too, Diesel, what you're talking about.
And what's interesting is what was going on there? Was it a transformer blown out or something?
Yeah, it's weird what he was why somebody would be filming that. Or was it caught in like a CC camera kind of thing? You know, a camera that scans.
I don't know. Maybe there was a storm going on. It doesn't say. You can see there's once again that's going on.
The camera work looks like somebody's holding a camera though.
Yeah, I think someone's holding it.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. Is it fake? It could be fake. If it's fake, it's a pretty cool fake. If it's real, it's really, really awesome.
Yeah, I mean the light glare and the reflection.
Yeah, you could tell it's real because look at that blue dot.
The only thing that like kind of looks, which I mean I'm not a video, like I'm not an analyzing expert of videos to say, the only thing that looks like is the body. The body is the only thing that looks like it's slightly out of place. Like what looks like wings, that looks like it's more natural to the photo or to the video. The only thing that looks a little bit, but now I can't say that, I'm not saying that's not real, but you know what I mean? Like if somebody did mess with it.
Thanks for taking control of the chat. Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Give me a break.
Is the body?
Yeah, you know, here's the thing. I have seen an image before that was filmed about 10 years ago of an angelic being that was filmed. What was interesting about that one, it had 3 heads, and those heads looked almost like Bigfootish, like they're a creature. Or they didn't look like a human heads. I don't know if it's still out there. I mean, with AI and what's happening, I don't know how you guys feel about the internet, but it's becoming a nightmare of finding what used to be a lot easier to find 7 years ago. It's becoming much more complicated and very difficult to find old stuff. So whatever, it's just some kind of suggestion I have to people is that if you find something that is of value, you should get an external hard drive and get some software to at least snip the part of the video you like, or record the videos or images, because they're getting lost.
Yeah.
And with the AI, it's going to get worse and worse. And there's another thing we have to deal with too, as time goes on, drone technology, which I'm planning on doing. I want to do a show about drone technology probably this week. The different type of drones are being developed right now, and I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen probably right before we are old men and we pass away. But definitely our children and grandchildren are going to be riding drones, not cars, drones. They have drones now that, I mean, they're planning it out like police squads that are freaking not going to, or vehicles are not going to be using the highway. They're going to be flying above the highway. I can show you the images and the videos, and it's real.
I've seen them.
It's not imaginary. And so, yeah, drone technology is something we're going to have to deal with, especially with stuff that's up in the sky. Even above the forest, and so there's something they have heads up about when it comes to drone technology. Not to mention the fact of what they can possibly do to us as far as oppressing us, but most likely, most of us are going to deal with is how they.
Can I put my cameraman thought into this video?
Absolutely, that's why we're doing it.
All right, go backwards. Go back to the start. I'll tell you when to stop. Go back, go back, go back, go back, back. See that blue ball?
Yeah.
See that blue ball? That's what
Yeah.
a camera picks up with high light. So if this video is faked, they did a really good job on adding that blue ball in. Because even when the sun picks that up, you know, when you hit the sun, you get a blue or greenish ball that moves. So
Sorry,
pretty
there's
good.
a buddy of mine called.
So I think if that's fake, they did a really good job on putting that ball in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think somebody could have been pointing their camera here, because this could have been something that developed, and there could have been noise. Like they could have heard those power lines humming. Something could have been leading up to it. Somebody could have been like, well, something's about to happen, and they started filming it. Now, whether or not part of that was added in is something I couldn't tell you. But
Plus, it's always the case. People snip it. They take the one piece. They use it for clickbait. You don't get the full video because it's boring, right? I mean, 20 minutes is hardly anything happening, right? People don't want to see it. They want to see the action, right? So that's something to take, because I have lots of images and even videos that are short, that because
I was a line
for
man
numerous reasons.
Right, like I said, somebody could have just been watching because there may have been something leading up. They may have heard this about to happen, and they were like, well, let's see if something happens, because it sounds like something's shorting out over here. So I could see why somebody would probably have been filming this way. I'm not like suspicious of that. And if this is all like 100% real, then I mean, that's really amazing.
It is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, even if it's a digital, if somebody did something to make that sure is that's really convincing.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be an illusion. There's always that possibility, but I think I don't think this is a lot of effort just to fake that. But that doesn't mean somebody wouldn't do it. People just do stranger things.
Looks pretty cool.
Like one of the things I wanted to talk about too was this video.
Oh, come on. UFOs are boring now. We know they exist.
Well, the problem is
another UFO.
So in the Bible talks about in Ezekiel about eyes within wheels and eyes, and there's a big eye.
Yeah.
Now there is the balloon cult that's out there in which people are and I could show you video of it, especially in third world people. It's like it's like a subculture thing that they're doing right now, which is they're making their own big balloons, put them out there to make it look like UFOs or jellyfish type things and that kind of stuff. They're doing it, and they've been doing it for a while. And so this could be nothing more than a very imaginative creation of a balloon. I can't.
That's why it's hard for me to get on the internet and surf and watch this BS. You know, I'm like the other day, I was like, you know what? I can't get online and do research. So we went to the library, had to grab some books. You know what I'm saying? It's just like anything I was finding online, I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's almost coming to that point to where you can't even research online.
No, there's a lot of garbage out there. But I don't know if I don't think that's a balloon myself, but I don't know because I wasn't filming it. But what's is interesting about it is that there's something in the middle there, and it's almost like an floating eye. Is it a floating eye? Is it an entity? There are excellent videos now that are coming out about these. They're very circular, sphere-like objects that remind me of a petri dish, but it's up in the sky, and they're filming it now in the daytime and around the sun. And so I don't know if I have a video of that now. I could set it all up, but this video I find fascinating because maybe there is an entity in here. There's always this. Hey, who knows? Is there an entity in there? Is it a balloon? You could say this balloon because it got that going on in there and going on there.
Looks like a ring.
But then this part disappears, and it still keeps its. So if it was just an eyeball like balloon, there's no rotation of it. There's no distortion of the. I call it the eye of Horus type thing, right? And that it's staying stationary and staying focused on the camera, and it's not changing except for some of the stuff that's coming in and out of it. So is it a balloon or is it a UFO? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I think it's a pretty special thing myself. It doesn't look well. Where would it? If it's not like it's staying stationary, and this is like near, I guess, a beach or somewhere, the wind should be blowing it around. It's not staying stationary. It's not hooked to this thing, this ramp.
Right.
Yeah, that's
That's one of those things you got to be there to see it, to be able to analyze it. Like I say, AI has just messed things up for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with that. That's for sure. But think about this. With this, what I think a lot of these things are called UFOs. Once again, are actually entities, some kind of entities, as above, so below. So let's say in the microscopic level, you see these amoeba-like creatures. People are starting to film these things up in the sky, and they have some association with the sun. And we know the sun has its, plasma is a big part of it, right? And energy, different types of energy, different type of radiation, and so, but through a filter, something similar to what you guys are doing, filming the sun. They're filming these very circular objects that are moving independently. It's not, kind of thinking like, those, you close your eyes and you'll see the little, like, what do they call them again? Little like things going up and down your eyes, that kind of stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So what do they call that again? I can't think.
Aren't there like some kind of parasites in your eyes that you see?
Yeah. That's a great way of describing it too. I wonder how parasitic
they just call them floaters.
Floaters, yeah. How much is there, as above so below type of thing? Is that what they mean? Is this what the people that are in the know, the occultists, as people like to call them. Is this what they're talking about? So we'll watch this real fast too, because we're filming orbs when we're out in the woods, right?
Yeah.
And there seems to be a connection with Bigfoot and Sasquatch and spirits and all that. When I get this set up and going, it's a French channel of all things. And we'll watch this, and you tell me what you think about it. And the rest of you guys, tell us what you think about it. You see one of the floater right there going?
Yeah, they look like little eye floaters.
Yeah.
So that's he's filming the sun. What the heck is that? Are they actually near the sun? I don't think so. I think they're actually in the sky. We can't see, but look at that.
I mean, is that just the air we're looking up into the sky? It almost looks like you're looking down on somebody's eyeball.
Well, I could show it again from the beginning. Let's see.
Like that looks like a pupil right there at the top. You know what I mean?
So this is UFO VNI disclosure, and that's supposed to be the sun. And look at that.
Yeah.
Now I don't know what's going on here. What's this kind of stuff? What kind of filter you're using? What's causing it? Is this there's a lot of different videos coming out. I don't know if this is all fake or if it's real, but I think this is something that actually you guys could probably do in the field. You have the technology to do it, actually, right?
Yeah, I could.
During the daytime to film up to the sun and see if you get some similar to. If you do, then now we're dealing with another dynamic, another level of what we're investigating, right? Because we're filming orbs, right? And you notice they look at fluid, they move.
Yeah, and those look like full circles, like
orbs,
like bubbles, like someone blown bubbles.
And it's just also some way that a lot of people are mistaken for a mechanical UFO type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thanks for managing once again the chat, so I can focus on this.
You know,
look at that.
If you want to take a moment after this, I captured a really interesting orb. I showed the cameraman it.
Absolutely.
It almost looks
These
like
are some plasma bubbles. Plasma bubbles, and that's something I was thinking. Bubbles?
Man, those sure look like the same things you see that float around your eyes.
Isn't it amazing though? But it's not me, but it's a petri dish. I don't know how you're going to fake this. Someone could tell me how they're faking it. The only bad thing is they took off the temperature. Like you guys they should have left the data on. I don't know why they did that.
Well, that's a heck of a filter. What is that they're looking at? Is that the sun?
It's the sun.
It's the sun. Okay, yeah. Wow, that's one heck
of a
filter.
I wonder if you do the same thing with the moon. That's the other question right there. Or the moon during the day.
Mm-hmm.
There's something move there. Look at that.
Looks like a Polaroid.
It is.
Yeah.
So it's not very long. It's not very long.
Polaroid.
It's like
so many people request a Polaroid for taking photographs to see if anything gets captured on them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do know one thing. Those that stuck around the 23 view, and not too many people have seen this video. First of all, it's from France. And how many of us have any channels, French channels they're paying attention to? So, secondly, just the fact that this is how fast the technology is improving. What's going to be like in 10 years, gentlemen? Problem is, you guys keep up with the technology.
Yeah.
So, whatever this filter is, I wonder how this filter would also interact in the woods.
Well, honestly, I don't think I'd ever look into getting a filter like that because I don't see myself ever looking up to the sun to find stuff.
Yeah.
just me personally. I mean, this is interesting though, but I'm not sure if I'd go. I don't know if I'd ever take this avenue for looking at strange anomalies or things like that.
I do wonder if it would work in the forest though.
Yeah,
On a sunny day.
There is I don't know if it's causation or correlation, but it seems like a correlation with filming orbs that are round and circular.
Yeah.
And he's filming
If it's picking it up. If it's picking it up in the sky, those bubbles and stuff, plasma bubbles or whatever they are, in those things, I'm sure it would do something.
Well, there's somewhere in the atmosphere, right?
Now,
it doesn't get
distance. Because like if this is a filter that's made so that you can look into the sun, if you're just looking into the forest during the daytime, I mean, would it be almost like pitch black because the filter is so like tinted, so you can look up at something so bright like the sun? Would it make the forest almost look dark? Those are some things out here.
Well, that might not be so. It could be interesting because of that, right? That it's so dark it might actually pick up any kind of energetic thing.
I mean, that's a good idea. I guess.
You know what? I got a guy that does, stars, moon, earth, sun stuff. I'm going to talk to him and see if he's got a filter like that. See if he can come out with us next time. He looks at the sun all the time, and then the moon, with his. Wonder if he could do something for that and see.
Shannon says, I've seen the same thing in space. They jump and pulsation. Sunspots almost remind me of alignment of the pyramid. They're always around rocket launches, really, as if they are here to help in case of a nuke being fired.
I heard that before.
So anyways, with that, do you want do I have to give you how did you present?
I think you have to pick the I think it showed up like somebody joining.
After this, guys, though, I got to jump off.
All right.
I got to go pick up my stuff.
Okay. I'll show you this. All right, let me go and show you.
Yeah, we've done this for almost 3 hours. How's come we always end up having these long shows? Did it feel like 3 hours?
Talk about.
We didn't even. Did we? I know we have to do like a part 2 and a part 3 because we never quite. We're kind of rough at this, aren't we? We're not.
Yeah, when you get a lot to say, you sink into it. But we should start doing parts, hour-long ones. Part 1, part 2.
All right. What I've got here. This was an IR camera of mine, and I was just focused on a certain area because of some activity that was going on. But there's a couple anomalies I'll show you.
So we're looking at in the woods and the trees. Looks like we have tree trunks, right?
Yeah, those are glow sticks that one's hanging from a bag from like a little camp outpost, and the other one's on the tree over there. Those are the lights. What you'll see, I think there's one. The first one might be debunkable. It might be a spider web, which I'll show you that. And then the second one, though, is very strong. But here you go.
You guys film a lot of stuff. Every time I break down one of your videos, I find more than you guys ever bring up. So
yeah, this is from our camp out. That video is coming.
Now, this is what I think could be a spider web.
What's moving it?
I think a spider above.
Well, there's a spider above?
Maybe. There were spiders everywhere.
Well, of course.
Yeah, so I like this.
Oh, is it just a spider web? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think that right there could be a spider web that's just glowing in front of the camera. It just caught my attention because maybe there's a little water that's reflecting. I'm not sure that's what it is, but it kind of moves like a spider web. So this could be a spider web here, and that kind of goes on for a little while. But the one that was very strange and different is the one coming up here. It's right after this one. Here you go. It's a separate time. You'll see it come up from the bottom. You see the bottom left? You see that light?
Yeah.
Watch this.
Look how slow it's going.
This night was crazy.
If you watch it, it's behaving like it looks like there's a flame to it. You see how it's rippling?
What speed is it on? Normal speed or
That's
is that?
normal speed. Yeah.
What the hell is it doing so slow? I tell you, can you put it down to half speed? Let's see what happens.
That camp out was crazy. I can't
Yeah.
wait till y'all see that.
There you go. Now it's half speed, but if you look at it, it almost is behaving like a flame.
Well, it's moving independently. It's not moving like an insect.
Yeah, it's definitely like orb-like, and it looks like it has like a flame element to it. It's very interesting. It was one of the strangest
So
ones I've seen.
it's emitting energy, electricity.
Yeah,
Very
like
strange.
electricity. That's a good point.
This one I could
Well,
not
you
come
know,
up
they
with
have
what-
lots of there's sort of videos out there of them, the people that you can see them like darting back and forth, right? And you can see like they're almost like they're swimming in the sky type of thing. They're definitely not dust particles or bugs, and they'll have a flame behind it. But that was interesting because are we done with that, or can we watch
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I
You
stopped
know,
it.
can we watch it again
Yeah, sure.
from the beginning?
You, I think you might have to stop it and I'll have to bring it up again. I think.
You should
Yeah,
be
that
able to-
night, that camping night when we went was crazy. We definitely
Yeah,
got crazy
I'm not
stuff.
sure, Mike. I think you might have to close that out.
close it out and do it again.
Like- Yeah, because I'm not sure. I'm looking at a weird background here. I don't even see anything anymore on screen.
Oh, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not there. That's why. You have to open up again.
Do I?
Yeah, you got to present it again.
You're not present.
Well, let me see here. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
This looks strange. What I'm looking at right now is strange. I don't even see you. I don't see me. I don't see. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, hold on one second.
Giant tick looking for trapper.
Yeah, that's a
So
nightmare.
if there was something while we're doing this, to close because we're talking about manifestation, what is the most important things? Simple breakdown for anybody that wants to try to do what we're doing. What do you guys say
Be open-minded.
to make it happen?
To go out with a purpose, with what you want to see. Go out there and see it. Tell yourself that you want to see it. Say it out loud.
Acknowledgement, respect, and understanding. Acknowledge it's there. Don't have doubt. Maybe it's there. Maybe it's not. Acknowledge it like it's there. Like it's there.
Yeah.
Whatever you're trying to communicate with, show the respect, vocalize your intent, and know you're dealing with a higher being. And always be genuine. Be yourself. Don't try to change your behavior to try to force some kind of interaction. Just interact like you are being yourself.
Yep.
All right.
And if you hear something, don't doubt what you're hearing. If you hear if your brain goes, that was a tree knock, say it out loud. Say thank you. If you take off running because you hear something like a growl or something, a lot of people get tested and to see if they can handle it. And a lot of people take off running, and I think that will end it. Once you take off running, or I think
Stay your ground. Try to stay your ground as long as you can.
Wow, right.
Try to face your fears. Try to face the unknown. And I think another thing too is to all the things that you weren't expecting. Start looking for the inconsistencies, not what everybody else says you're supposed to look at, but you find the inconsistencies, lights, shadows. You'll be surprised at what's going on around there. And we've together, the shows we've done together, we've shown demonstrated that you'll find shadowy arms, shadowy beings. I'm not kidding. You'll see shadowy arms come wrapping around a trunk or a tree. Orbs. What else do we got? What else do you guys call? You call those? What are those long things called again? Rods.
Light rods.
Like an orb energy rod or something like that.
We got the hooded people. We got what I call them the hooded people. They're almost like dwarf-like thing, which is really bizarre. I mean, I showed it to you. It's up to you guys want to believe it. I showed the images. There's something there, definitely. And the more you look at it, you clearly see that there's a hooded type beings.
Hey, Penny.
There's all sorts of things. And I think there's going to be a lot of things that don't look anything like a Bigfoot or a Dogman. And we could be willing, or an alien. Because I think what I find really bizarre, gentlemen, after all this time, there's only 3 entities that seem to be pushed on us consistently. Aliens, Sasquatch, and Dogmen. And it's easy to fall into the trap and say, that's it. But the truth of the matter, it's far from that's it. And it's truth of the matter.
Far from that's it.
Yeah. And it's not, I mean, anybody can find this out for themselves too. That's the thing.
Yeah. I've learned a lot from doing it. I've learned a lot from everybody in the community. I mean, I so grateful for you all, everybody. I'm so grateful for MT, Mike, ORD. I'm so grateful for you. It took me a little bit to get on your level because you were way smarter than me.
I don't know about that. That's smart.
Oh yeah, you were, man. When I was like, there's no way I can't even answer this guy's question. How can I even go on a show? I don't know about all this stuff yet, so I had to go find out for myself. Yeah, man.
Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. I don't get too many in my life, so thank you. I'll take that.
You do good work. You're very misunderstood, and it's sad to see what them censor you so much.
Oh yeah, I'm terribly censored. But it's
Tamara, thank you.
A lot of it's from, as far as the internet goes, a lot of it's from me speaking up the past 4 years, into particularly 2020 and 21, about what's going on worldwide, to hopefully save a few lives. And then so that's the reason why they bananaed my channel on the 6th of January 2021. And since then it's been the shadow banning to the extreme. So it is what it is, you know what I mean? I'm grateful we found each other. So I'm grateful the spirits motivated me to reach out to you guys first, because never would have known you, right? I found you. Somehow I found you. I don't put a lot of effort in this, folks, when it comes to finding people and finding things on the internet. I'm like most people, I guess. I get bored real fast too, you know what I mean, as far as trying to find something that's worthwhile. So, but it was weird with synchronicity. The first thing, the eye thing in the sky, that came to me, my mind, and then somebody talked about it, and then I found a video, and then you and I talked to you about it. I wanted to see something to start seeing or filming things that are angelic like. And I find this video. Now, I don't know how popular it is, how old it is. I've never seen it before, ever. So I don't know if you guys ever, anybody else in the chat has seen that video before. It looks like an angel traversing on that power line, using the power of that power line. Got the wings and everything like that. If you guys see that before or not. But I mean, this is the whole thing about synchronicity and manifesting, and it's being willing to accept the synchronicity, accept what's seemingly absurd and unexplainable.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be a witch. You don't have to be a medium. You don't have to be if you are that, that's up to you. But I'm just saying, you can just be an average Joe like me and you guys and do it. It's not like you have to do anything special and be part of any religion or do any rites, that other people say to do. You just have to be willing to do it. You know what I mean? Just willing to open up your heart, I guess.
Yeah. You know what I think? We should. I like the topics that we do, but I think that we should let people pick a topic each week for you.
Hey, Corky. Yeah.
What do you mean?
It sounds pretty interesting.
What topic would you guys
People
like?
watching? Let them pick a topic for us to talk about.
What would you guys like to talk about? If we do a next show, what would it be? Is that Corky from Facebook? Is that the
Corky's Research?
Oh yeah. How's it going, man? I asked him to come on my show and he blew me off, Mr. Corky and all. Mr. Corky know it all. You need to get on here. You need to get on here with us, man.
Yeah, Corky. But I got to jump off, y'all. I got to run.
All right.
All right. Well, do you want to stick around for a couple more minutes, Mike? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll run that. I got that video up again just for that orb again, if you want to see it again.
Once again, for those who don't know and if we're forgotten, it is Jack Riggs, the cameraman, the man that put together the crew that is doing some exceptional work in Eastern Ohio,
Thank you. Thank you.
on the other side of the state that where I'm from.
And thank you all. I'll let this play so you don't have to leave the channel. I'll let this play out and just come back and check it.
Okay, we may do it. We might do it for I don't know, half an hour at the max. Since I haven't had a chance to really hang out with Mike alone for a while, so we'll catch up with him too. Maybe talk a little bit about his interview, and I'll set that up so people can find it. See you, bro.
All right. God bless. You all have a great night. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you haven't, go to the Loose. Check him out. Go to MT's channel. Check him out. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. God bless you all. Have a great night.
All right, see you, cameraman.
Well, if you're talking to me, Corky, then let's join us, man. Come on board. Share with Cork. He does work. I believe he's in Michigan. Oh, no, I mean New York. Is that where you are, Corky? I can't remember. Out east somewhere. He's filming stuff, some very interesting stuff in his neck of the woods. That's for sure.
All right, I'll let this play out here. You want it? I'll run it at half speed. I think it's still in half speed. Let me check.
Oh, gout sucks, man. That's painful. Yeah. You ever had gout before?
No.
Swollen legs.
Sounds pretty terrible.
It is terrible.
I had my ankle actually one time on an airplane. I was on a flight. It was a military flight.
Oh, Corky's in Ohio. Where you are in Ohio?
Are you in
man?
Ohio, Corky?
Oh,
Columbiana County. All right. Yeah.
where's that at?
I grew up in Mahoning County. That's more towards like eastern edge by Pennsylvania. Kind of like
Close to you guys then.
kind of like central northeast Ohio.
He's close to you guys, huh?
Yeah, that he's probably familiar with Beaver Creek. He's probably been there, I would imagine.
I had no idea. I always thought you were in New York for some reason. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah. All right, I'll let this play out. See this orb again. So this is from the camp out we did recently. But there it is at the bottom.
Oh, are we blocking it? Let's see.
I think it's on.
There, I was blocking it. So there it is. It's interesting movement. It doesn't move like unless it's slow motion.
It's
But
in
it
slow
is-
motion right now.
Let's put it at standard speed again. Let's see it at standard speed. Let's see how it moves. Because it's not moving like an insect. That's weird.
Yeah, but look at it. It looks like it has like a flame look to it. You see how it has like the wavy flame look?
It's not climbing up the cobweb, is it?
I don't know. That to me, I couldn't quite tell what that was. This to me, I think this could be a spider web. I mean, if this is like a spider, it just seems like what it looks like is really distorted to be a spider. But again, I really don't know.
That movement was strange.
Yeah, and
It
the
dropped like
waviness
that.
to it, how it looks, it almost looks like a flame. To me, it has like it looks like it's fire.
Could it be? Okay, I don't think so. But a lightning bug, part of a lightning bug, has it been eaten by a spider?
I don't know. I mean, that's like, I'll go and shut it down if you want.
Corky says it's an orb.
Or yeah, it's just another strange anomaly of something I've captured on video, which could be debunked. I mean, that could be something natural. I've never seen anything like that, but this is outside, so.
Well, that's cool, man. So I There's so much weirdness around the trees. So much. Here's the thing too, is I discovered too, you don't have to go deep in the woods. You can do the stuff if you in your neighborhood. You can do this in a cemetery. You can do some in a lot of woods. You know, I live in Northwest Ohio. We don't have forests. We have parks. We have parcels of land that maybe 10, 20, 50 acres of woods max. But it's all like patchwork where I'm from. It's boring and flat where I'm from and where I live. And it's a place you're not supposed to be filming Bigfoot, which I have. There's no reports, and nor will I deal with BFRO because I could care less what they say. Honestly, it's just I'm not going to have an argument with the experts about my experience of what I'm filming. You know what I mean? You know, so and nor should I recommend any of the rest of you. I mean, if you're experiencing something that doesn't fit, you know, the narrative, then it is what it is. You know, we have to be strong enough and brave enough to say, you know what, this is what I'm experiencing. This is what I'm seeing. If it take it or leave it, you know what I mean? It's not about being part of the club. Anyways, Linda Eastburn, hey, interviewed the man himself.
It was a good interview. I thought it was a great interview. She's a very interesting person. I want to get her on and do an interview with her on my channel too. Talk to her about a lot about her experiences with remote viewing and some things that I kind of wanted to ask her about it and some connections. So I'm kind of excited to you know, see if I can get her to come on and talk to everybody with me.
So, what did you particularly talk about? What were your topics?
She
I'm
talked
going
to
to
me.
play it, but